No, I didn't see you there.
Can I tell you something?
You just dropped in on us having a podcast.
I was right over here half an hour ago, off stage to the direction where my arm is pointing and can't be seen.
And now you're there.
I was over there, and I could hear the control room guys. I've been misspeaking lately. I might have your
control room. They're making a big fucking rug.
They're weaving tapestries in there. The control room guys. I was over here, and they were doing the rehearsal about half an hour before we go live, and then they went, "All right, okay, countdown 30. All right, roll front spot. All right, 10 seconds before, run the intro in 5, 4, 3, 2, live." And everybody in the control room went, "Hey." That was their impression of us. Is they went,
"Hey." You know what's? I heard that too.
Guys.
I also heard it. I was a little insulted.
Wow.
Get a little more energy.
Wow,
it was
control
the
room.
most unenthusiastic.
I mean,
like,
it's kind of accurate, to be fair.
Yeah.
We're mostly like, hey.
We're in power save mode until we go live. It's power save. We're like a video game console. They're just leeching your electricity slowly.
Gavin lately, and I know this doesn't actually take place on the podcast, but Gavin lately has been complaining about the rundown and the count. You're especially upset about the countdown. You don't like
No,
the
he
countdown.
doesn't like it when it's a pre-recorded episode.
No, he just doesn't like it in general. Like when they say, "All right, counting down to 30," he goes, "30 to what?" That was last week. You said that.
Well, I mean, we're all sat here. Just go. Press record. Let's go. Let's do a podcast. That's how we used to do it.
It's a
Go.
system. It's a system, and you can't mess with it.
It's
What other things do we not need countdowns for?
You guys do the
What
1, 2,
other-
3, 1, 2, 3
This
on
Space
your
Shuttle
Let's
one?
Plays.
That's to sync video to audio. though.
Well, that's what counting
This
down
is
is.
to
It's
sync us to the podcast.
yeah. That's a good one.
Yeah.
What would happen if we weren't all synced up? Like one of us
Well,
was
okay.
like
We're
off
just
by
having
like
conversations,
30
like-
seconds
the
off.
Monday morning meeting started today.
Yes.
At 11. It just started.
We should
It was
count it down.
11:02 for me. I came in a little bit late.
We had a talk about that right before the podcast started. We were trying to figure out if we'd ever started a podcast with someone missing, and we almost started one without you. I think last week or 2 weeks ago. No one knew where Burnie was.
We have perfect
it
attendance
was like
so far.
it was like 7:29. Like, and Patrick came on and asked me, he's like, "Are we gonna wait for him? Or are we gonna start?" I said, I think my reaction was, "He knows what time the podcast starts."
And I was here.
Yeah.
I like the fact that someone's phone's ringing. I like the fact that
Someone's phone from
From the-
1970s.
from the 70s want to talk. Someone, what? The audience perspective, they can never tell how long we've been sat on the couch. It just starts and we're here. Sometimes it's like 30 seconds, sometimes it's like 5 minutes.
I
That could
remember
be
when
one
we
of-
first did these podcasts, we were here for like half an hour before.
Yeah, we were nervous. We were trying to get it all figured out. I think the person who gets the most like stressed about it is Kara.
About like people showing
Yeah,
up
like
on
she'll
time.
bust out the bullhorn and start like yelling at us
Yeah,
for
she'll
all of us
come
to
into
get
my office
here.
and be like, "Have you seen Gavin? Where's Gavin? I need to do his makeup." I was
People
like, we have
acting
40
all,
minutes.
all stressed around me like that. Like people, we have a few people who work here who are absolute freakers. Like Caleb freaks out about everything.
He
If
does?
something goes slightly off, he's like, "Oh, what are we gonna do?" And having people like that around really relaxes me. It's like when you're in an airport and you're not in a hurry and you see someone who is in a hurry
Right.
legging it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
I'm fine.
Feel a sense of calmness
Yeah,
over you.
You would think it would panic me up more, but it actually relaxes me.
Speaking of which, being in a hurry and all that, because I feel that way in traffic. When someone's darting through traffic, I'm like, just, give it.
It's like, where
get
are you
over
going?
it. I also like when someone's like going like down the shoulder. When you're like it's dead stop traffic,
That's a super hurry.
and someone is going down the shoulder or like going out of their way, Gus,
Fucking
to
cop.
completely avoid traffic. How do you feel about that person?
Well, asshole.
He's an asshole,
Right.
right? See, I'm weird. I think it's always like a matter of perspective when you get in those scenarios. I always think the person is in an emergency.
Yeah, like his family's dying somewhere.
Something's happened, and that guy just says, "Look, I just can't go through traffic today. I'm
It's
going to go
worth
around
the risk
everything."
of being arrested just to get to my family in time. or something.
Exactly, or
Yeah,
whatever.
I always
Nah.
think of it like that.
Asshole.
How- yeah.
Oh,
I'm
100%
with Gus.
asshole. There's never an emergency that anyone needs to drive on the shoulder.
I'm with you. I always think that this guy's an asshole and is just so impatient that they can't wait in traffic.
I was with Jeff once. We saw a truck barreling down the shoulder, and he went up onto the verge to try and like skip over to the next bit of road.
Uh-oh.
And then he got out of the truck, legged it, and then tried to steal an 18-wheeler.
Really?
Yeah, and we think he had a gun too. Jeff and I followed him, and we were like, "Where's he going?"
Did you really?
That was like a year ago, wasn't
It
it?
was a while ago. I got it on video. It was top.
Wow.
You can't
Sounds
see
like
anything.
from
It's like a little.
GTA.
It's a little blip in the distance of my iPhone camera.
Okay, followed him like this.
You get down low under the steering wheel. You just get your eyes barely peeking over.
But perspective is a funny thing. This is something we always talk about in the car. Ashley and I, we go places. Is that
You go where?
we go in our
Like,
car.
where do you go?
Like we get in a car and we go a place. And I say, "I want to talk to you about this." And she says, "Okay." The big thing is joggers. When you go out,
Assholes.
When you go out and you go jogging, Gus, ever happened ever?
I'm sure it has at some point.
At some
Are
point.
you asking if podcast has ever been jogging?
Yeah, ever.
Oh, okay.
Like, or bar.
recently?
Occasionally you go running, right? Ever?
I'm not a runner.
Nobody's ever gone running in this group?
I'm sure I
ever?
have. Okay, yes, I've run.
Thank you. So when you go running, you're running for the first time or whatever, and you think like everyone sees you and like they all know you're running for the first time or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you're in your car and you see someone running down the street, I assume that person runs every day of their life at this time.
Yeah.
They're the most dedicated runner ever. They're just some asshole running today.
And no matter
like,
what
for
they
the
look
first
like
time.
either.
Yeah.
They could be some big fat guy, and it's like, all right, he's probably just been at this for a couple months at this point, right?
Exactly.
And it
I don't
means
know
that-
what that perspective is. If I see somebody else jogging in my car, I assume that person runs every single day
I
of their
always,
life.
whenever I see them, I think, what the fuck does this person do? How are they out here? Like, it's always in the middle of the week. You drive somewhere, like, how the fuck is this person out here at like 1 p.m. running? What? Don't they have a job? Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I do the same thing at the mall when I leave work to go to the mall, like at lunch or something, and there's the parking lot is filled on a Wednesday. I'm like, who are these assholes that are at the mall on a Wednesday? But I'm one of those assholes that's at the mall. So
Yeah.
I,
Let's
you know,
get some shoes.
let's get some shoes.
Let's get some shoes.
Oh my god, is that the that old school
Kelly.
internet thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I haven't seen that in years.
These shoes rule.
I just got back from VidCon where I ran into like every YouTube person in the world.
VidCon.
It's a good reaction.
I thought you wanted to go and then didn't end up going.
I mean, I was gonna, but then there's no reason for. It's just a bunch of 14-year-old girls running around, isn't it?
You friggin' nailed it, dude. I've never been at a convention that is that demographic. It is all roaming packs of screaming 14-year-old girls.
To me, that convention looks like an American Eagle, like, advertisement.
Really?
Yeah. It just because it's all these like young LA girls who are usually pretty fashionable and like pretty and
It's
young
fashionable
and, like,
means wearing no clothes because that's
They're pretty skimpy.
I
those
saw
guys.
style
Greg
now.
Miller from IGN and he's like, he's can I tell you something, Brandon? I said, what? He goes, these girls need to put on clothes. Because these girls need to put on clothes. I
like
felt like
to-
such an old man there. I'm like, you just go get dressed, you.
I like to play a game called Guess Which British Vlogger will get arrested or jailed from VidCon. Like one of them's going down. One of them's going to shag a 14-year-old.
It has happened a couple
What
times.
happened
Say I'm
last year?
going down. I don't know. A bunch of
There's been allegations.
Has something
where-
to tell us, Gavin?
what?
He's not a vlogger.
What am I
He's
made a blog?
British. He's close enough.
I'm English.
He
yeah.
feels 50% of the requirements.
I will say this: we do a podcast, which that's maybe always the closest thing we come to a vlog. That's probably actually that is a vlog, right?
Not really. We're talking about news and like it's not really a
We're not really
personal-
telling stuff that
I think
happened in
the
our lives.
podcast is probably the closest.
Is that what a vlog is? Like, what's the?
I feel dirty now.
To me, a vlog is someone in a bedroom looking into a webcam, going, "Hey guys."
Where like the background is soft focus and
Why
they're
don't we
looking
make
at
the next set a bedroom set?
Maybe that's how we should start every podcast from now on is, hey guys,
Hey guys.
Hey guys,
I had a really tough day at work today.
make sure you comment, like and
like and
subscribe.
subscribe.
And now tip jar.
Oh, yeah.
That's a new thing
What's to
coming.
do with that? I've intentionally not read anything about this.
So YouTube announced last week, and the head of YouTube, I don't know what that person is. It can't be the CEO.
Mr. Tube.
CEO, it's a lady. CEO of YouTube. That's not a
Director?
thing. Yeah, Mrs. YouTube. She, or excuse me, Ms. YouTube. She announced new annotations on videos that are pretty.
They're called cards, right?
cards. They're
Okay.
called
How do they
cards
work?
now.
I haven't seen them yet.
And then also they're going to put this tip jar thing on, so people can ask for micro donations, basically for their YouTube.
So could
channel.
I just upload a video and then say, also
Tip
just
this.
give me a bunch of money? because
yeah.
So now it's
And
that's like
click like
real
and
money?
subscribe and tip.
Yeah.
Just a tip.
that's
Yeah.
terrible.
Someone actually said the thing they're most upset about is that all the just the tip jokes that we're going to hear.
Yeah.
Basically. Constantly. From
I
them.
mean I did it right off the bat.
You did it right. Barbara, we would not expect any less of you.
It's true.
It was both a pun and a penis joke. How could you possibly avoid it? It was like you were made for it.
It was she was the person for the time. Yes, put your pun
I-
glasses on. We're
I
all so happy to see them.
I think this kind of thing is to compete with or to be
Kickstarter?
a response to Patreon. Have you guys seen that?
No.
That's
That's
like
like-
a donation-based thing, right?
Yeah, it's like, hey guys, we made a video, and we're gonna set our goal. And when we hit our goal on Patreon, we'll make another video, which is always a dangerous.
So it's
thing
like
to do.
blackmailing your audience, holding videos back.
Funding. It's funding.
So could I just
Blackmail.
Your buddy Smarter Every Day does it. Patreon.
say, Destin,
Destin, yeah.
Huh.
I saw him, man. He's a really good guy, man.
that guy's smart.
He's a very, very smart dude. I just heard a kid yell.
Yeah, I hear
I
it
think
all.
they're watching a cut of Ruby something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Perhaps.
I always feel like an idiot talking to Destin. I always feel like my IQ will bring his down somehow. Whenever he's talking
I
to me
can-
and it's really interesting, I'm like, cool, that's really interesting. But I have nothing that I can give back to you now. I have no information for you.
Is he coming RTX?
I don't know. I don't think so.
He didn't mention it when I saw him.
Okay. It's too
He
bad.
didn't. He put out a video just this week of
His videos
him
are great.
milking a fish for poison.
What?
It was like some kind of Australian stonefish, I
Like,
believe.
how do you milk a fish?
It was weird. So it has spines on its back, and if you step on the back, the spine that goes all the way down its back like this, kind of like a dinosaur. Like what's
Like
the
a dorsal fin or
Stegosaurus?
something?
What's with the fin? That's not a stegosaurus. What's
Yeah.
with the fin?
Oh.
Is that a stegosaurus?
Yeah. It's got the
It's
plates.
Stegosaurus.
It's got
Yeah.
a spiny spine.
Spinosaurus.
The back fin. Anyway, so it's got those, but it's like when you step on it, there's like a covering that comes down and that reveals like basically a needle that sprays this awful poison into you when that happens. And so then they had this piece of foam they would push down on the spines to activate, and it would spray this poison.
Was that for anti-venom?
I don't know why they were doing it, to be honest with you. I kind of fast forwarded the spraying venom part, but
Was
it
it
was
high
it seemed like really. He had a professional guy there with him who was helping him do it. What's a professional fish dude? An ichthyologist?
A professional milker.
It was an ichthyologist, a marine biologist, and they were doing this, and like the poison was spraying past Destin's face, and they were recording it in slow motion and everything. He's like, oh, that's pretty neat. It's like, no, it's poison. Don't do that.
Can you imagine if you had that? Like, if one of your fingers had that, and like every so often, if you just accidentally like jammed your finger or stubbed on something, it's just like this cloud of poison shoots out. Like, oh fuck.
What do we have that's like dangerous on that level? Like
If you step on it, you get poisoned.
like
type of thing?
us? No,
We have,
like
like-
we could do something that we
Well, like
protect.
babies are so stupid. You have to put those mitts on them so they don't scratch their face up.
They can scratch their own face, like
Right.
with claws.
We have reflexes. You could bash someone in the face if you're not careful.
I think this is right, like claws. Like if we cut our nails down so we don't have these big freaking claws on our hands all the time.
Yeah.
I think our teeth are pretty dangerous.
Our teeth are pretty dangerous.
Only because our mouth is so filthy.
I just
Yeah.
feel like you're not going to accidentally bite something
You bite your tongue.
unless you're a. It's true.
Yeah, and your cheek.
Oh God. Or your lip when you're eating, you bite your lip and then you do it 5,000 times after that. I always feel like a
So
failure on an evolutionary basis
thing
when I
about
bite
that-
my own face.
The thing that gets me about that is, so it's like you bite your cheek or your lip, and then it's like it gets kind of inflamed or swollen or something, and you keep doing it, repeatedly, and then just one day it's gone, and you don't even realize it.
It's true.
Like, what is it? Like, you make that turn, and you don't know, and then like another day passes, you're like, oh yeah, didn't I have a cut? Wasn't I just biting that constantly? Like, what changes in that amount of time?
Your body heals?
It's stupid that it inflames in the first place. It's like, you did this, idiot. Now do it a bunch more because you can't help it.
Yeah. Just chomp away.
Yeah.
And it's like what's the bite that you make that you just fuck up and eat your own cheek by accident? It's like, what if you ate something, like you went out for hot dogs and then you're like, but I'm missing a finger. I ate through the hot dog and ate part of my hand.
What is it about humans where if you hurt yourself somewhere, let's say it's your foot or your hand, you keep hitting it on stuff or into things?
I think you just notice it at that point.
But it's like, no, I don't think it's that. I think it's like you're overly conscious
What
of
do you mean?
it,
Like, if
so-
you stub a toe, you stub it again? What do you mean?
Like, let's say you break a finger, or
Right.
like you like stub your finger really bad, and then you keep
I've dislocated my thumb. That hurt like hell.
and you keep hitting it into things. Or
Because
like,
it's not in the right place anymore.
never mind. People know what I'm talking about.
Is that?
You know, you got my back, internet. You know.
Or like you hurt your knee and you keep bashing it into doors or tables.
I think you just notice it more. I think it's what it is. Like I think you would normally just hit it or whatever, but now
would
you're
think
just
twice.
like you notice it because every time you do it, it hurts.
I always feel like an idiot when I bite the fork. Have you done that recently? Where it's just like,
Oh.
I don't think I've ever done that.
I've done
I
that.
probably
and
haven't,
it makes
just
my
don't
teeth
remember.
hurt just thinking
yeah,
about
and
it.
it hurts, and then you eat everything really slowly for like a week.
Or, like,
One
with a
time, I
plastic
don't know
fork.
how I did it, but like I thought I had something similar where I put a fork in my mouth of food, I bit down, and I thought I bit the fork, but instead I had just bit a weird way to where my incisors on my top and bottom collided and hit each other. That's the only time I've ever done that. It hurt so fucking bad.
That's awful.
I need to like bite something soft now to get that feeling out of my mouth.
You know what? I don't like when I eat with somebody who does that on a regular basis. That's the way they clean their fork off, is they bite it and go.
I hate that sound.
And they go every time they take a bite.
I
Can we
can't-
please change the subject?
I can't eat with any piece of the silverware touching my teeth.
Really? Yeah,
Yeah.
not my teeth.
Like
No.
with soup, I don't want to suck a foreign fork or spoon. I wanna
suck
miss
a
the fork.
foreign fork.
So I just I put it in my mouth and I just tip it out.
Sounds like such an insult. Why don't you suck a fork? How about that?
I know people who will clean their knife off with their fork, like to get all the food
Oh.
off of it and like eat the food
Do you know
off
what
the
would
fork.
be
It's
absolutely
like, why?
awful? Biting a chalkboard, just looking like that would just be the worst. wouldn't it?
I'm going to abort the podcast, I swear.
There's a second time for
talking about
everything.
maintenance, what if your teeth grew like your nails and you had to clip your teeth like every,
Like a rabbit.
every 2 weeks? Or just get like sandpaper and
Or you just had
sand
to
them
chew on shit, like you carried around a block of wood. You're just like in a meeting, you're just like, like you're just chewing on the wood, like, oh yeah,
And
great
they're, like,
idea.
gross and full of drool.
You actually bite your cheek while you're
I never knew
chewing
I
on
had
your
a
block.
phobia until right now.
What, clipping your teeth?
No, just like stuff with your teeth and like, biting chalkboards.
so-
Does
Soggy
anybody have
works up,
sensitive
yeah.
teeth? Like,
Nah.
I've never had a problem like biting into ice cream or cold things or hot things. But I know there's a lot of people who they'll see me like I'll bite an ice cream cone. They're like, how the fuck can you do that? Doesn't that hurt?
I feel like it
No.
depends. Sometimes I have that, sometimes I don't. Should we could get a ball of ice cream right now, and you could just, with your front teeth, just go like, right into it.
I would
Could
not
you?
do that. I would not do that with anybody else. I hate eating ice cream with other people because this is actually my pet peeve with eating in silverware. I hate the way other people leave ice cream on a spoon. Like if I get a scoop of ice cream and I eat it, spoon comes out of my mouth, it's clean. It doesn't come with that like flattened layer of like mouth
Well, that's
cream.
what it is. You've got the curve. You've got the curve of the spoon, and it's the perfect like topped off layer.
And then they
Man,
go,
it's got like those divots
then
in
they
it
go,
from
you
your
want a
lip.
bite? It's like, no. You've been running that across the roof of your mouth. It's
So what are you talking about here?
just people.
People you live with?
No,
People who
no.
don't necessarily offer you a bite of ice cream from their mouth.
Just randomly over my life, it's
Okay.
been a pet peeve of mine. And actually, you set me off for a long period of time. Gavin has the confidence to say things as though they're rules, even though they're not in any way. Gavin one time convinced me it was completely improper etiquette to ever switch your fork and your knife in your hand while you're eating.
See, we've had this conversation. I don't think this ever happened.
You absolutely told me this. And I believed
I
you for
just
like a
said
year.
I
I was conscious about not switching my
You
hands.
thought that was bad etiquette?
That's
He told me it was.
what's
would you
worse
never
is
do
that's
it?
stupid that you went along with it. You're like, oh, I can't switch it. Like,
That's
fuck,
actually-
fuck etiquette. Fuck the rules. Put your elbows all over that table. Fuck it. I don't cares. I hate that shit. I'll put my elbows on any table. President's across from me. Fuck it. Elbows on the table. I'll switch my fork and my knife all night. I don't give a fuck.
You
That's
leave ice
actually
cream on the
actually
spoon.
better etiquette.
I
is
think
switching
it
after you
is.
cut.
I think you are supposed to switch.
Yes.
But I don't think it's either British people don't do it or I don't do it, and I'm rude. But it makes no damn sense to switch.
Because you eat
It
with
totally
your right
makes sense.
hand.
No. Like
What
here,
I'm talking about here is if you're
fork,
eating there you
knife. There's none of this, Paul.
go. Yeah,
Slopping all over the
I
place.
usually will cut, set my knife down, and then switch to my.
Yeah, I feel
Yeah,
like
that's what I
it would be
do.
weird eating with the fork in your left hand.
Gavin literally told me it was improper etiquette.
I
Do
think
you
the
look at the
reason is-
time on your left hand?
Yes.
Weird.
First of all,
Is-
don't-
oh my
how
god.
weird
Oh my
is
god.
that?
Is this the same motion as this?
It's pretty much close, isn't
No,
it?
it's not even close.
I think
By
I
the
can
way-
explain
Also,
this for you
this,
guys very
putting the
simply.
fork in your mouth requires a lot more precision and like fine motor skill to like get it in there just right.
I think
Well, my
it's
motor
because
skills are great.
it's better etiquette to eat like this with the fork rather than when you cut, your hand's like this, so it's going like that.
How about this then?
I like the way
Have it-
Barbara
How about
did that
this?
too.
Flip it.
The way Barbara held the fork was like this, as opposed to you guys who was doing this, like this fist monkey grip with silverware. Like
I do a, I do a
why would you even?
I can't wait to see the gif of that.
Why would you even bother with? How dare you?
I'm just gonna start smashing all my food and just picking it up.
It's not a bad idea.
Spaghetti.
I was really
One noodle at a
tempted.
time.
We have pizza, and Gus brings in pizza every Monday before the podcast.
Mario.
Now it's Mariel.
Oh, Mariel brought it in?
Yeah.
So the pizza came in, and like everybody all at once when the pizza came, and they were all patiently waiting, and she set up like the 3 pizza boxes on the table, and everybody was sitting there watching, and there was like this moment of like it was taking a little bit longer than it should have, but everyone was super patient. I was so tempted to just walk up and take all the pizzas and throw them on the ground. Just because everyone was...
What the hell is wrong with
I don't
you?
know, there was such a
you
high
want to
level-
do that? You talked about flipping people's coffee cups? Like, are you just trying to piss people off?
Oh, I don't want to reveal that I'm doing that to...
You already did.
Well, it
wanna
hasn't
cause a
worked yet.
commotion.
Everyone's caught it.
Oh, yeah,
Basically,
wait
the coffee...
until it's done. Wait till it's done.
Okay, yeah.
Gus had a stupid conversation with me earlier. He said he likes to take 2 slices of pizza, put them on top of each other, because that way it's quicker to eat.
This is my first time ever doing it. It's not like saying I like doing that. I was innovating.
I know
says
because you
it's-
walked in and you said, I have a pizza sandwich. And then you showed me.
Well, he thinks it's quicker to eat 2 slices of pizza when they're on top of each other. But surely it takes you twice as long to each bite. Because
No.
Why? There's twice as much food in your
If you
gob.
fold the pizza in half, you're eating it twice as fast? One piece?
Yes.
No. It's all pizza. What are you talking about?
If you have a peanut butter sandwich and you have 2 slices of bread with peanut butter
I'm
on them,
listening.
and you eat one at a time, does that take just as, the same amount of time as eating a peanut butter sandwich?
Oh, get faced, Gavin Free.
Well, yeah, it would take longer, wouldn't it? Get some slices of bread out here right now.
Make sure they're nice and wet.
Hold the bread. I don't want.
Gavin will do it. Gavin will do an experiment and eat for us.
Yeah.
So, Gus, are you at all upset that the iPhone 6 was leaked today? Did you see?
I haven't seen that. I've been,
you haven't?
I've been too busy.
The actual phone's been leaked.
Yeah. Well, they always.
Most of the time those rumors turn out to be fake.
This is the stage at which the iPhone 6 is about to come out, or it's about to be announced. So the people that manufacture it in the plants in China are starting to leak photos of
The
it.
ones that aren't jumping off the roof.
The ones that are not jumping off the roof. Correct. They so they have a new iPhone 6.
Have you seen it?
And it's like razor thin. Apparently they took out, there's 2 brightness things in it. I guess 2 screens that add the brightness. I don't know how that works exactly. But they got rid of one of them because now it's bright enough to have just one of those things in there. So it made it super duper thin. Here, I'll see if I can send a photo.
Is the screen bigger as well?
I think, yeah, the iPhone's going to get bigger anyway.
They're talking about having two sizes of it as well.
Are they?
What?
Just fucking flashbacks. Is that it there, Burnie?
Yeah, that's it. That's the iPhone 6 leak.
Where's the logo? I guess.
Well,
I think it's a prototype.
Yeah, it's a work in
That's
progress.
been around for weeks. What's new about that?
Well, I think now maybe it's more confirmed. I don't know. Burnie's
Well,
the one who looked inside.
there's a picture that shows how thin it is from
It
the
looks like
side.
an iPad.
You think it looks like an iPad? Dude,
It looks
somebody
like a
at
tiny
VidCon,
iPad.
I had to ask him, I said, is that a tablet or is that a phone? I really can't tell. And he's like, it's a tablet. But it can also make phone calls. I was like, well, what does it make at this point? I mean, when do we
They
stop
have that
calling
term
this,
for it, right? Phablet.
when do we start, when do we stop calling these things phones anyway? I mean, it's the least used function on my damn phone. It's
Yeah.
my phone.
I always use FaceTime as well, so the actual cellular phone bit is completely unused.
Yeah.
I mean,
I can't understand Americans on the phone. So
I
I
never thought to do FaceTime audio calls until you told me you do it.
So
it
much-
sounds so much better.
Yeah.
It's a lot clearer.
It's like
super
it's
crystal
like
clear.
Internet phone.
Yeah. I hate making regular phone calls now that you spoiled me.
Now I'm learning about
Although
this.
Esther's not a fan.
Esther does not like it
You call her,
because-
she's like, stop doing this weird FaceTime thing.
The problem is that when you answer a FaceTime call, it takes a little while for it to establish a connection.
Yeah.
Right, because you're making an internet connection and not
Right.
just 2 phones.
It's not just like you hit answer and then hello. It's
Yeah.
like answer.
She also
Wait,
doesn't like the way it
wait,
rings because
wait.
it goes.
Yeah, it's the FaceTime ring.
Yeah.
I once got a FaceTime audio call and I was really paranoid because I heard that ring assuming it was a video call. So I quickly had to fix my hair and I'm just like shit. Oh, fuck. It's just an audio. Well, damn it.
Well, at least you look good.
Yeah.
All that work for nothing.
I looked great for that audio phone call.
So I, in my infinite stupidity, I did the dumbest thing ever.
All right. Luckily on the
I-
podcast this week.
I moved the weekend before RTX.
Yeah,
Why
that
did
was
you do
really
that?
fucking dumb.
It was so stupid. I thought it would be okay. I'm in so much pain already. Like the level of walking pain I feel after RTX, I already feel now. We haven't even started. I earlier, Barbara went to get supplies from the grocery store that we work next to. She's like, "Do you want anything for RTX?" I said, "Listen, this is gonna make me sound like an old man, but buy me those gel heel inserts for my shoe so that when I walk, it doesn't hurt." Because I need to. Because I walked around moving my shit, and now my heel hurts.
Yeah.
Like an old fucking man.
You are out of shape.
I got you 2 sets.
And so I've been fucking dealing with that for days now. I feel insane already.
The worst part was you being out of the office last week, and every single person who comes in looking for you, I had to be like, he's not here, he's moving this week. And they're like, what the fuck, he's moving before RTX? It's dumb.
Jack's trying to do the same thing. It's
Move
crazy.
before
People are
RTX?
lunatics. Yeah.
Nah, you gotta get on with your life.
You also
Just
just
do it.
moved.
Yeah, I moved a month ago.
Yeah, he moved a long time ago.
Did you get all your wiring in place yet?
No, I still need to do that.
You just gonna do it? You'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
So and
Just don't
then
plug anything in.
oh, there it is. So that's the concept.
That's the
Damn.
iPhone 6.
That is really thin.
That's gonna
Oh,
be
that's
cracked.
totally different to the picture you just showed.
A little bit.
By the way.
A little bit.
I would totally get that.
A little bit. That's just to show.
Are you
going to
get the big one or the 4.7 or the 5.4? Or
I'm
whatever
happy
it is?
with the current size. I don't think anything bigger would
What
fit
size
in my
is this?
pocket
4?
comfortably. Something like that.
Is this 4-inch? What is this?
I don't know. Put them side by side. Huh? Let's see.
Why are we putting them side by side?
What is that going to tell
Yeah, there you go. It's about 4 inches.
Oh, I see what you did.
Funny guy.
It was a dick joke.
Yeah, it's totally a dick joke.
He measured his penis with it.
So another problem I had with this move. Sorry, I'm fuck the iPhone.
Yeah,
So I moved into this place last night. I'm taking a dump, sitting on the toilet,
Yep.
and I hear bubbling.
Good.
I'm like, what the fuck is that? So I kind of stand up and look into the toilet, and it's just like air bubbles coming up through the toilet. I'm like, well, that's not good.
So yeah, fish in there?
So I flush, doesn't flush.
Oh.
Try to plunge it, doesn't plunge.
Well, look, you're not a homeowner anymore. you have a condo manager. So you just go call that guy and go, this is your problem.
Yeah, but they show up and they can't plunge it. They're like, we don't know what's in there. So they get.
What does that mean?
They have to take the fucking toilet off. They try to run the snake down. They're like, yeah, there's something in there. I can't get it. We're going to try to get it from the outside. They run the snake from the outside. Like, yeah, something's really stuck in there. I don't know what it is.
Man, the people who moved out were just flushing stuff out of the
Isn't it a new place?
It's a brand new place. No one has lived
So
there.
nobody's dumped it
They
yet?
get a camera. They put it in there. Like
Camera?
Yeah, they're like,
That's a bold
okay,
move.
we see what it is. And apparently, when they build places, like when they set up the pipes, plumbers will use, I don't know what he called it a test ball. It's like a balloon. They put down the pipe to make sure the pipe is fully,
Piped?
I don't know what to say. And
100% pipe?
And the plumber's like, yeah, sometimes when we do that, we lose the test ball, and it looks like they lost it, and they just left it down there.
What?
And they're like, what? He goes, yeah, so nothing's getting through. Everything's just hitting that ball and stopping and backing up. He's like, yeah, I'm going to go ahead and put a drill bit on the end of the snake and see if we can pop it and then pull it out. That's what he had to do.
And it worked?
And did it pop?
It worked. It must have been the nastiest balloon
So,
pop
like,
in the
all
world.
your shit was just, like,
All
right above.
Oh,
Yeah.
right. This is the new thing on the
Yeah,
podcast.
he was like, yeah, the other side, this other side of the pipe's really clean from the outside.
So like a big rush of feces must have blasted.
If you had a choice of coming back of anything in your next life,
It'd be that balloon.
test ball would be like lowest on my list of things that I would want to be. Maybe the snake. The snake never does anything good.
Yeah.
A drain snake. is
Your
just-
eyes are so red and watery now.
Yeah, you look a little rough there, Gavi.
But man, that plumber was really nice.
He took your toilet off. Mm-hmm. That's I don't know.
It's funny. Again, you talk about perspective. Like you look at a toilet and you think like that's where I sit and do my business. You take a toilet off, it's a hole in the ground.
Oh yeah,
It is literally just a cutout hole in
With
the
a
ground.
wax
I thought it was a
ring on
hole
it.
in the wall. Is it in the ground?
Yes, it's in the ground.
It's a wax ring.
Yeah, and it's just like
Sits on
there's
it.
just a ring there. It's like you.
Also, it just sits there.
But
on
why
it.
does the pipe go into the wall?
It doesn't.
Doesn't?
What?
That's where the water comes to fill the tank.
That is correct.
So feces goes down and water comes
from the side.
in.
Yeah. Your toilet just works on gravity. It puts it in the tank, depending on the type of toilet, but it puts it in the tank, and then when you flush, it just lets it down. It's just gravity working. That's all it is.
So why did?
Traditional toilet, you have a tank, it fills it with water. You can actually drink the water out of the back of your toilet if you get
Don't.
an emergency.
Don't do it.
It's totally clean water. Totally
clean.
fine.
What if you get like bog backwash? Like, can poo ever
It
go
won't
up?
go up there.
No.
No, I think gravity would totally prevent that from happening. It's an emergency. Don't do it at a party for fun, But it fills the tank up, and then when you push the handle, it's like a chain. A bar pulls up, lifts the chain, lifts the stopper, and then the water just drains out and then runs down to your toilet bowl, flushes everything away.
And then it has the floaty thing to know when to stop filling it.
Yes.
Floaty thing to know when to stop
floats
filling
to
it
the
back
top,
up.
and then it's
Yeah.
like, whoop, you got enough. So if
Yeah.
you take the floaty thing off,
It's such a complex
It
mechanism.
just keeps running.
would
Yeah,
it just?
it'll just keep going.
It wouldn't overflow the cistern.
You,
No,
you can
because
also
there's a-
bend the arm and completely fuck that up.
There's a drain in there, so when it gets up to, that's why when you hear a toilet running, that's the water getting up to the level of that drain and then falling into it.
By the way, little homeowner's note, if you ever hear running water, don't ignore it.
Absolutely not.
If you hear running water, find out where the running water is and stop it from doing that. Because it's just one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, I kind of heard that for like an hour. And then you like find out half your house is like
I'm
gone.
so happy. My new place has like a master cutoff inside the house.
That's
That's
great.
awesome.
And they're like, if you ever hear running water, the team treat me like, the first time home buyer, like
Yeah.
an idiot. If you ever hear running water, come here and pull this, and this will stop all the water in the house.
Can you
Great.
stop it for your whole block? Because I know you like doing that.
Oh my God. Did I tell?
No.
Okay. So I moved. And there's that animated adventure about me wanting to cancel the gas service for everyone on my block.
Yeah, you want to turn off everyone's gas.
Right, because the previous homeowner had turned off my gas and it was a mistake, and they wanted to charge me a reactivation fee. There's an animated adventure about it. If you don't know the story, go watch it. Well, since I'm moving, I had to call the gas company to transfer my service to my new address. So I call them. They're like, okay, hey, I was like, I want to transfer my service. They say, great. What's the password on your account? And I say, password? I don't have a password on my account. I'm like, I'm sorry, sir. I can't do anything to your account. It says here, I have a note that says, no one is allowed to touch your account without the password. I'm like, I don't know what it is. He's like, my hands are tied, sir. It's very explicit instruction. I cannot do anything to your account without the password. So I say, what letter does it start with? And he tells me, and I say, I have no fucking idea.
I'm surprised he was allowed to tell you that.
First letter, and then I say, there's no way that it could be that. And he goes, really? You can't guess it based on this first letter? I say, well, that's a different letter than you told me the first time. Which one is it? He goes, oh, it's this one. Okay, well, I know what the password is then. And so I say it, and he goes, okay, good. Now I can help you. And then he's, the guy's typing, putting in the new address, and he says, wow, It is literally in every comment field on your account.
Because you're a jackass.
It says, do not change any of this without the password. He says, I've never seen this before. Literally, every field, every page of your account says, ask for the password.
Wow.
And I said, yeah, I got kind of mad once.
That's awesome that they actually implemented that.
Yeah.
A lot of people will say they will and then they don't.
I like how you didn't remember what Past Gus did with all the passwords and stuff
I
like
know, I was like, I have no idea. It was
You were just
past
mad at
Gus in a fit of
yourself.
rage.
Yeah.
Just saying shit because he was angry.
I used to know somebody who worked at a stock market call center. They worked for a broker.
Oh, God.
One of the big ones.
Stressful.
And they had pages and pages of like, or notes they could leave on customers, like just personal interaction notes. Like, this guy called and he was a total jackass. Don't give out his password. She got a call one time and like it took a while to load the profile because the customer notes page was like 6 pages long. And immediately Big Cap says, immediately get hold of your manager and have them monitor the call. And then they said like a note from sales, I'm gonna start prioritizing these in order of severity. And the highest one on the list was that the person went into their local branch, didn't get the information that they wanted, so they pulled off their pants, sat on the floor, and then urinated. And it was just like the worst customer ever, and
Jesus.
just would not let go.
Wow.
And so the person I knew would sit there and was answering all the questions directly while the manager just like stared at them. They were just like ready to jump on this, but it was a very uneventful call without urination or anything.
We when we worked
Or so
at
they
the
think.
when we worked at the call center, we definitely had some customers that became well known. Nothing on the level of walking into an office and pissing all over
Did
the
they
place.
pee down the phone?
But I know there was one customer who called, who I talked to, who was convinced. Oh, how did it go? She would go on rambling on these weird tangents. So we were a help desk for people with dial-up internet. So people who had trouble connecting to the internet would call us, and we would help them get the computer connected to the internet. So while I'm helping this woman, she starts going on this tangent about how AOL sneaks into her house at night and changes her TV to CBS, and she knows it because she never watches CBS, but when she wakes up in the morning, the TV's always on CBS, and AOL's out to get her, and that she could sometimes see the black helicopter circling over her house.
Right? Lunatic.
Mm-hmm.
People will say, oh, I'm crazy, or like, oh, that guy's crazy. Or I dated this girl, she was crazy. Then at some point in your life, you run into like legit disconnected from reality.
Like
crazy.
Michael's neighbor.
Yeah, like that dude.
People, when you're talking to them, you fear for your life. You
just
fear
because they're not in your world.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like your life means like nothing to them.
There was
you operate in their plane of existence.
There was another one who claimed she was having trouble connecting. It was another woman. She was having trouble connecting to the internet, and what was the threat she made? She said that her family got to Kennedy, so they sure as shit could get to me.
I remember that threat she made.
What?
Yeah, I was like, what are you saying? She's like, you heard me. I was like, I'm just trying to help you get on the internet, lady. I don't know what you want.
I can tell you exactly what her quote was. I remember it perfectly.
Okay.
She goes, listen, buddy, I know the Connolly family, and if we got to Kennedy, we can get to you. That's what she said.
Yeah,
right?
that was it.
Yeah.
That was it.
The Connolly family was I think John Connolly was the guy that was riding in the limo with John Kennedy.
in the front.
Yeah, he's like a Texas dude, somebody high up in Texas, like high society or something like that. John Connolly, right? Isn't that right?
I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure I'm remembering that right.
Yeah, you definitely ran into your share of weirdos and crazy people when you work at a call center.
Yeah.
It sounds like a really fun job. Interesting.
Hey, we
every day.
had literally tens of thousands of calls that were just normal, nice people who just needed help with their internet.
Where do you think people
But when
run
you
in-
just interact with so many people, it's just
Yeah, I mean,
a
this
battle
is this is
stick up.
over the course of 3 or 4 years working there. I probably have like 5 lunatics I talk to, which in the grand scheme of things, small number of lunatics.
Not many.
Not that many.
What job do you think you run into the most lunatics?
That one.
Yeah? Even,
Yeah.
Like not even like fast food or
I never.
something like that?
I haven't had very
No,
many
he's governor.
jobs.
I'm saying like
John Connolly was governor
just like
of Texas.
in the world, where do you think someone would run into the most
Oh, I'm
lunatics?
sorry. I thought you were asking me personally.
Like your
An
own
insane
job.
asylum.
Wait, I'm sorry. What's
Touche?
your question? I was looking up John Connolly. What was your question, Barbara?
I was saying, what job do you think people would run into the most lunatics?
Public transportation. Anybody who runs anything in public transportation.
Yeah.
Or a police maybe.
No, I don't know what it is. People go crazy people get crazy. Normal, well-mannered members of society, when they get around methods of transportation, lose their fucking shit.
Well, because it's probably going to be an everyday thing, like a commute to work, and people get sick of other people. It's like I have to deal with this every day.
Like
So they just go mental
We've
about it.
all seen normal people like on planes lose their fucking minds.
Yeah.
Let me give you a pro tip about traveling. Okay, if you ever get upgraded to, if you fly a lot and they give you an upgrade to first class, people in first class are the biggest fucking dicks on the planet.
Oh, absolutely.
They are, without a doubt, the biggest fucking dicks per capita that you will ever run into. Like, if you ever want a proof of like the 99%, the 1% thing, sit in first class one time
Do you
and
have
listen.
an example?
Here's the main thing. If you're traveling with somebody else and you get upgraded to first class and there happens to be 2 seats available and that happens, you're almost always going to be sitting apart. People in first class, 95% of the time will not switch their seat with you.
And you think in first class, it's always either window or aisle. You think, well, of course.
All the same seats.
It's
Yeah.
the same seat. No.
And they're all huge. So
They
it's
have
not like
all
you're getting-
picked the specific spot on the plane they want to sit on. It's not just the window or aisle. It's how many rows back, how many rows
They just
this.
will. If they're sitting, they're not going to get up for you. They're not going to do it. People in first class are the biggest fucking dicks on the planet.
I will say, whenever I know I'm going to be in first class, I always pick near the front because the food options are probably going to be run out by the time they get to you if you're in the back of first class.
It's like
There's
6
usually-
rows.
there's usually like 12 people in first class.
They run
Yeah,
out,
but
though.
they'll have maybe 20 meals and maybe like 7 of each.
Yeah, it's
So-
usually like, would you like the chicken?
20 meals, 7 of each.
Oh, no, that's like...
It's like, usually they don't really serve a lot of meals on planes anymore. But when they do serve you a meal, it's the weirdest thing. It's like, would you like the chicken parmesan or would you like the snail face? And it's like, oh, I'll have the chicken parmesan.
Yeah.
And then after 7 seats, it's like all that's left is snail faces.
But
That's
if you're-
it.
I want to eat a snail face now.
Yeah. What if
It's
that's
always like some super horrible option. You know, do you want the slow roasted brisket or do you want the ketchup salad? I mean, it's like, I never understood that.
Your pilot sneeze.
Oh my god.
One time you let me upgrade to first class.
Yeah,
You
when I
gave
got
me your
it,
first class seat.
I did.
Yeah.
I bet they were nice to you though.
And I looked like shit that day. Like I did not look like I should
That's
be in
the
first
most
class.
fun about being in first class, is looking like you don't belong.
The best part were the warm nuts.
Yeah, they give you warm nuts.
They do.
It's
And
not
I'm not going to
American.
make a joke about that, but they gave you warm nuts in a
Yeah,
bowl.
in a tiny
In a
little
little-
bowl. They
little-
microwave them all together, though.
I don't think they're microwave. I think they have a little.
I felt
oven.
like I had to be like very fancy sitting there. Like I like
Gotta
put
have
my
the pinky
napkin on my
extended.
lap and I was like,
I honestly get so depressed sat in first class. Everyone surrounding you is just a boring, beaten down old tosser.
Yeah.
Well, we talked about that,
We
about
talked
how
about
like
that
last week.
it's like everyone's working on a spreadsheet or
Yeah, it's
some
just
shit.
like, oh, I'm so glad I'm not one of these people. I'm
Listen
sat
to
with them
you.
all, though. Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah. Listen. Every time I look over at someone's laptop on a plane, just do that little glance. Like, what's this guy doing? It's like that. I don't know what that is, but that looks awful. It's like it's always an 80-page report about
Yeah.
like depths of swimming pools. Or just something.
that
that's
sounds like fun.
It's like, it's like, what is the municipality of the depth of the
Yeah.
swimming pool versus the racial?
It's always like, if you were to Google business document, it's always like that. Like, what that'd be.
I would look that up right now. Yeah, that's always rough.
No, here, I'm going to read this while you're Googling business document. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is brought to you by
Yeah.
at RTX. This weekend,
This weekend, literally
taking
this weekend.
over our life. I'll talk about it in a second. Did you find the stereotypical?
I did. I'm gonna.
Business document.
I'll just send it to Patrick. But it's just like it's exactly what Gavin's talking about. It looks like everything I've ever seen anyone else looking at on a plane.
Yeah, and I think the story I told is that I had flown first class recently, and I realized I was one of those assholes. I had an Excel spreadsheet open, and it was the RTX budget, and it's like one of those spreadsheets with like 1 million tabs, and I'm like, calling from other sheets into the sheet,
That
like
sounds
making
awful.
pivot tables, and I stopped. I was like, what the fuck have I become?
Yeah, I just hang out and watch a movie on my iPad.
Yeah, I think I started watching the
So,
Lego
I
movie.
mean,
I
the
listen
problem
to
is we're
these.
just not real adults.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not an adult.
I counted the other day. I have 27 different spreadsheets for RTX.
Wow.
Like that's too many.
That's more
legit.
than I've ever had in my life.
You only
About
need one
25.
spreadsheet, just different pages, all that stuff.
Yeah, like you said, we're not real adults. Like the other day, I was thinking about it. I said, should I be having a midlife crisis soon?
Yeah, just do it. It's great.
No.
What would you do you think?
I don't know.
Buy a bunch of crap? Buy a bunch
Buy a
of
new
cars?
computer, put a bunch
Get
of
rid of
fucking
crap.
neon in it.
Get rid of
Buy
crap.
a new house, perhaps.
Getting rid of crap isn't a terrible decision, though.
No, it's not. It's not. But I think it's a guy thing to do. It's just like, why do I have all this stuff? Let me get rid of all this stuff.
I'd probably get really into something like Hank did in Breaking Bad. Like minerals and stuff.
Minerals.
Man, I started watching the other day when I was setting up my entertainment center at home. I just put Breaking Bad on Netflix. It looks really good. I know they started streaming it in 4K if you have a 4K television, But even just like the standard
Do you have a
1080.
4K television?
No, just the standard 1080.
But how do you stream it in 4K?
I think it detects if you have enough bandwidth and if your TV's 4K capable, and it just automatically starts streaming the 4K to you.
I had the greatest moment at VidCon where I was on a panel and we were talking about different methods of distribution, and I was on there with Phil DeFranco, the guy who started SourceFed, and we were talking, and he sees things a lot similar to the way we see them. Assuming you guys see it the way I do, but just approach to media and all that stuff. And there was a great moment when he was talking about, like, you take videos or you take content and you put it on a, what do you call it, television. Like, he couldn't come up with the word television. He called it a
TV.
Television, TV. Yeah. It's like this was a great moment. It's like that was very telling for everything that we were talking about at VidCon.
So he didn't do that on purpose? That was legit?
No, he totally did not do it on purpose. Or if he did, he's the best actor in the world.
Were you the keynote at VidCon?
Yes, they had a couple keynotes, and I was the one on Thursday.
Oh,
What did you talk about?
Yeah, I talked a lot about the Indiegogo campaign, and just about in general the engagement of fans. Like, everyone focuses on views and subscriber counts, and everybody focuses on scale. Like, when you go to VidCon, it's like, the Machinima Network and Maker and Fullscreen, they all talk about, we have like 80,000 channel partners, and we have, a combined 100 million subscribers, and we get 1 billion views a month or something like that across their whole network for whoever just happens to be in the network at that particular month. And, for someone who's going to VidCon and sitting there has a YouTube channel that has 1,000 subscribers or 10,000 subscribers even, if that, or 10,000 views and 1,000 subscribers, they're like, those numbers don't make any sense, and people just throw those numbers around based on the aggregation of like 80,000 different channels in one network, and it's like, that's daunting to people. And so I said, if you look at views and you look at subscriber counts, you're not getting a full picture for an audience. And I talked about all the things we've done at Rooster Teeth, and I showed a picture of Ruby in particular, which was a year after we launched Ruby, when season 1 was still going on. There was a picture at KatsuCon of 30 people cosplaying as all the different Ruby characters at a major anime convention. And they had identified Ruby, and there was 30 different people all dressed as different Ruby characters. And I said, this is engagement. These people are ravenously excited about this. They're unabashedly enthusiastic about this thing they like. I said, but if you saw this on a spreadsheet, it would look like 30 DVDs sold. That's the way that would appear on your business spreadsheet. And there's no way you can't quantify that, of people being this excited about something.
Like how engaged those individuals are. You can
Like
never
spending
tell.
hours of their own time celebrating that
And
thing
putting
that
together that cosplay alone probably took months.
Right, like you can look up and see how well Star Wars did back in the 70s and the early 80s. You can say, this is how much the first Star Wars made, here's how much the second one made, it made a little bit better, and the third one made better. Nowhere in any kind of box office mojo stat is how long people spent camped out in tents. And that's the difference. It's like,
or how many times an individual saw the movie.
Right. And that's why my kids are playing with the same toys.
Oh, is that the picture?
That's the picture right there. Yeah, it is the picture. That's what I
That is
showed.
mental.
That was taken like while season 1 was still going on.
Oh,
I think.
This makes me so excited for RTX.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really.
I can't wait
awesome.
to see how many cosplays.
We're showing that picture. We'll put it linked up.
I saw a picture recently of, I think it was from a London convention, where there were like 10 X-ray and Vavs. Like,
I saw those
staggered.
also.
It was so cool.
I think, that was at MCM back in May.
Yeah. It's just so funny to me that there's characters and cosplays based on an achievement guide that I made with Ray.
People also cosplay as like you guys, not X-Ray and Vev, but I've seen people cosplay Gavin, Michael, Lindsay, Ray, like
Some guy won a contest,
humans.
a costume contest dressed as me.
Yeah, I saw that too.
Yeah. Just like, I'm thinking, how he must have had to bring a picture with him to explain to the host who he was dressed as.
Or maybe they're-
Oh, that's a great Seth Rogen cosplay. Well, actually.
That's, so it looks like Seth Rogen and Lee Schreiber had a kid. But the thing I was talking about too, to close it out, basically, was I said, talking about engagement levels and all that stuff, and I said, you take a look at it, because the big story right now is the Indiegogo campaign. That's what everybody at VidCon wanted to talk to us about, the Indiegogo for Laser Team, because we broke all these records, and we broke.
1.8 million currently.
We're at 1.8
right?
million right now.
Wow.
We broke $1 million in 40 hours. We hit our goal in 10 hours, and it's like this big story. And everyone's like, you said it. When you talk about the campaign, the first thing you talk about is the total, the grand total of the amount of money raised, and that's what's breaking all the records, and that's how the whole thing is measured. And it's like, when people hear that, it's like $1.8 million is a huge amount of money, because it is a huge amount of money, but it seems unattainable and insurmountable. But you're looking at the wrong number if that's what you're looking at. If you look at the number of funders, at that point in time when I did the speech, 23,000 people.
Yeah.
That's it. You're not going to go to another panel at VidCon where anybody talks about 23,000 viewers. They wouldn't talk about it. But it takes 23,000 engaged people to drive content that, we have 12 million subscribers across our Rooster Teeth channels, the owned and operated ones. 25,000 of that is a fraction of a percentage that are participating, that are breaking records. And when we broke the record for 1 million, it was only 12,000 people at that point in time. It's like, so that's achievable. Like that kind of thing when people if they could grow a channel where 1,000 people are engaged, where you could get 1,000 fans, I think everyone can wrap their mind around that. And that's definitely an achievable thing for somebody even just starting out.
It is interesting how a number isn't impressive compared to just seeing the actual people. Like I was talking to some member of my family about a video that got this many views. It might have got like a few million views. But it wasn't until they saw the video at RTX of the 500 or so people who came to throw water balloons at me. And that to them was like, holy crap, you got a lot of fans. And really if I put a video up that got 500 views, I'd delete it. I'd be like, what happened?
It's totally different, right?
It's crazy you actually have to see it to be like.
Well, you see the engagement.
Yeah,
You
views
don't just
are
see
different.
numbers on a
People talk about
screen.
views and even subs. It's not the same thing at all. It really isn't.
That's why I think RTX is so cool.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
It's going to be crazy.
We're going to be living that the rest of this week, Barbara and I.
Yeah.
I saw my schedule for Saturday.
It's packed.
I don't think I have like 2 seconds to myself.
No,
the
you got
whole
like
time.
half an hour somewhere in there. I think.
Oh, yeah?
I think so.
Let me look at the app.
Because you have Achievement Hunter. Oh, and then you're on Immersion. You're on the podcast.
And I'm doing a ton of center stage stuff that
I
day.
basically just look at people's guests pages and see does it go off the screen?
So, we're going to be live streaming the entire
have 3
event.
things
So
that day.
even if you're not going
Nope.
to the event, you can download the RTX app on your iOS or Android device and keep up with the schedule. And if there's stuff you want to watch, you can still watch it on one of the live streams.
I told people that. They thought I was being a dick. Like, oh, look at all the stuff I'm not going to. But it's like you can stream.
Yeah, you
that
can
stuff.
absolutely
So good schedule.
watch it all.
Okay. I was a little bit boring with talking about the indie the
that
VidCon.
bullshit that put me to sleep.
The whole VidCon thing. Sorry about that. But I'm sure they'll post it online somewhere eventually. But so one thing, the Indiegogo campaign does end at RTX. And so that's one of the things I'm working on this week is trying to figure out with 25,000 people, how do we just get, maybe not at the same level, but how do we get another 25,000 people to contribute? How do we go from 0.2% of the audience to 0.4? You know what I mean?
Right.
Just like make some levels or something maybe this week where people can contribute. But I want to talk about something else, which is you guys were on the Travel Channel roller coaster show last night.
Yeah.
And then I was on the thing at VidCon. We had a live stream a couple weeks ago for Indiegogo. And then we have RTX as well. And these are live events. But I want to talk about the network show for a second, which is we said, hey, the network show is going on at 7 p.m. And whenever you post that, it used to be the question was time zones. Like, what time is it on for me or whatever? Now the number one question is, will it be recorded and can I watch it later? Will it be posted online? And I hope that people understand, like, when we're promoting, like, a network event, that I hope people understand. My default answer is just going to be from now on just no. Because if we're doing, like, a live event or something like that, or we're doing something like when we were on Midnight, it was very important to people how many people tuned into that. We were judged by that. And the answer is, yeah, it'll probably be posted online later for you to view.
But we want you to watch
at
it.
your leisure. But we're posting about this and doing a live event because we want people to watch it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like when we talk about the live stream with Indiegogo, of like, we're doing a 12-hour live stream, we're all going to show up, we're going to do crazy stuff, we're going to have this fun, we're going to do that. And someone goes, cool, can I not watch that? And you're like, sure, I guess you. Yeah, that'd be great if you didn't
Never
watch
thought
it.
of it that way, but yeah, that's essentially what they're asking.
It's essentially it. But it's like, and the answer is absolutely we'll record it and put it online. Absolutely that'll be the case. We'll make it available. But the answer that we'll probably just use is just like, I don't know. It probably, maybe not. We'll see.
That
watch it
hasn't
while
been
you
posted,
can.
though.
Yeah, exactly. Watch it while you can, especially if we're going to make this whole live stream thing work. If people are really interested in that, then
I think it's more exciting, especially the stuff we do on this set when we have a 12-hour, 24-hour event. Isn't it exciting to see what
On
people are
this
doing?
set with the new couch.
we said we weren't even going to talk about it. Barbara ruined it.
I looked at our 12-hour live stream for the Indiegogo. The 3 hours I was on were the 3 most profitable hours. So you're welcome.
Were they?
Oh,
They
yeah.
like the Gus.
The
This-
first few
this
hours.
guy, the first 2 hours and the last one.
Everybody's awesome. They gave
Just
up a
'cause-
Saturday to come up, and then everybody contributed. It was great, dude.
That was that's a
mainly
really fun stream.
me.
No,
Isn't it
listen,
exciting to
people
watch
are saying on
stuff?
Twitter that they can't watch it. I totally get you can't watch it. I totally understand that you're not available to watch it. I'm saying the request, will it be recorded later? It's a totally reasonable request. But I hope that people also understand that it's totally reasonable if you say that we're doing a live thing and we hope that people tune in, you know?
Yeah.
It's like there's no point in us making an announcement of saying, hey, we're recording something live. You guys should all watch it. Why don't we just say we'll just post it online later after we record it? You know
It's as
what I mean?
if we were recording a short or filming a short and we told people about it, but they can't actually watch it live. Or
Right.
It's like, why would they?
Who saw the show, by the way? The roller coaster show. I didn't see it. 'Cause
I didn't see it either.
I don't have TV.
It is online.
It is. Look, that's the thing. It totally is online.
online.
It totally is online. But I hope that people understand, like they're sophisticated enough to understand, like this is a marketing thing. We're trying to like jump up the name for Rooster Teeth, especially when we're doing
We're trying to
appearing on
impress.
TV. That's the whole reason why we're doing it.
You know
is
what
to
is
make other
funny?
people aware of Rooster Teeth.
The Travel Channel, YouTube, it has a bunch of whole videos on there. It has our video and then a little segment here and there. But our video has, I think, 70,000 views. The next highest viewed video on their channel is 1,000.
I
And then
agree.
it goes to like 50, 60, 70 views. So it shows the power of our brand.
It absolutely does for online. But as speaking like a television network executive, they'll say, well, then, why don't we just make clips and post it on the website for those guys? And let's not put anything on television. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's totally just a promotional thing, like a marketing thing. That's all. And it makes more people aware of Rooster Teeth. Like if we'd have been the #1 rated show of the month for midnight, we would probably have 3 other people from Rooster Teeth already back on midnight. Mm-hmm. We probably would have already had that. It did very well, and it did really, really well on Twitter and online because that's where people know us.
Right.
Someone tweeted me last night. They're like, do you know that you're on this show right now? You're on this coaster show. And I'm like, what?
No
How'd that
way.
happen?
What?
Get out. Yeah, I knew it was last night because I got bombarded with tweets about it.
Yeah.
Jack.
What's wrong with Jack?
He fucking tweeted about that show like nonsense. He like live tweeted it for like fucking 2 hours.
Weren't we
asked him
supposed to? Wasn't that the
I asked
idea?
him to.
Oh, okay. It was a lot. Like all the .at replies. I almost unfollowed him again.
Again?
Oh, he did .ats. Mm-hmm. I've never done one of this.
I unfollow Jack all the time. I unfollow and then refollow Jack.
On and off?
Yeah. Jack and I have a hate
Well, I
relationship
have
on
a
Twitter.
billion people on Twitter telling me all the reasons why they can't watch something. Like I completely understand it. I totally understand it.
We need international TV. We need a channel that's the same everywhere.
People also think that stuff gets geo-blocked in their country because the Travel Channel is like, fuck you, England, we don't like you. That's not at all the case.
They just don't have
Somebody in the
license.
UK bought the rights to that.
Right.
And it's actually very protective of other countries that otherwise, honestly, U.S. media would just take over everything. And they would just sell their ads and play them all over the world. They'd be fine with that, and just sell more international campaigns. But it actually is to the benefit of your local economy and your local businesses if.
I'm sure a lot of the rest of the world would blow their heads off if they had American ads.
Oh, yeah.
They're
You'd hate that too.
awful.
Yeah.
They're very
I used to
over
be
the top.
proud to work in advertising in that industry, like working on commercials and stuff.
Uh-huh.
I'm glad I did that in the UK because the commercials here are just dog.
What's wrong with them?
They're really like shouty and they're not very creative, and it's just like blah blah blah, crappy cringe joke. Or some local prick going like, "Hey, come down to my ugly face and buy a car from."
Dude, I love that store.
What does a local ad look like in the UK?
There was none.
There's
It's
none.
like the whole of the UK is pretty much the same ads.
They're probably like, come on down, right?
I mean, everywhere is in like 6 hours of wherever you are. Come to the Cotswolds.
If I saw a commercial or something 6 hours away from me, I'd be like, why the fuck am I seeing this?
Well, no, it will say there's a commercial for this place. Here are all the locations in the UK.
I see.
But there's no like come down to East Ealing to see Dave's Burgers or whatever.
Dave's
Whenever-
Burgers. I love that
To
place.
see them, not eat them. Just come see
I
the
love
burgers.
seeing Dave's Burgers. So I don't, Patrick. I emailed you something. I don't know if you got it. Someone, there's someone who always tweets us pictures that she draws during the podcast. I think her name's Lauren Crozier.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
She'll be at RTX.
she drew a picture and I sent it to Patrick. I wanted to. Never
ready.
mind.
I think I know the one. I think I might have tweeted it last week.
No, this is the one that she tweeted that she drew up for this week's discussion.
Oh, really?
Does it feature the new couch?
No, it does not feature the new
Damn
couch.
it.
While I wait for him to pull that up, I wanted to say, did you see that United flight that got diverted because the emergency slide deployed midair?
Oh God! How did the door come off?
No, it deployed into the galley. It was a rear in the back of the plane. You know where the galley is and where the
Wow.
door's back there.
Retrograde.
There were pictures of it. Like it's just filled with emergency slide.
God, imagine if someone was stood there.
Yeah, the passengers say
Blasted.
that they were sitting there. Then they heard a loud pop, and they all turned around, and the slide was just in the galley.
I know a
never
guy
heard
that was
that.
on the plane when all the oxygen masks dropped, and he said that was the loudest sound on the planet.
He said it was like 50 shotguns going off.
Yeah, he said it was just.
And
like,
then everyone vomited and the plane plummeted, and doesn't sound pleasant.
what happened first is the little old lady in front of him peed herself all over his shoes, and then they took the plane straight down to 10,000 feet from like 35,000 feet, and they had to fly the rest of the way.
Which is very bumpy.
Yeah, at 10,000 feet, which is hot and bumpy.
You know, I a few weeks ago I talked about how I like that Air Disasters TV show.
Why do you do that?
And I watched the episode with that Value Jet crash. I don't know if you remember it. It crashed in
the Everglades?
Florida. Yeah, in the Everglades.
And all the alligators ate all the people.
And yeah, awful. They
it happened. I know.
they the reason that plane crashed is because oxygen generators in the cargo hold went off, and these are the oxygen generators that normally sit above you that generate the oxygen for your mask.
What do you mean they went off?
They activated, like they started producing
Oh,
oxygen.
is that the, I know the air incident you're talking about. That was the one.
That was the one, and
They were shipping these things, and they were machines that create oxygen, and one of them got stuck on,
Yeah.
or something like activated
So
in
it
the
just
cargo
filled it with
hold.
oxygen.
No. Well, the problem is that they get really hot when they create oxygen because it's a chemical reaction. And when they create oxygen, they get really hot. And the person who was shipping them thought they were empty and inactive, but they had just never been used. So he
no.
just like threw them into a cardboard box. It got really hot. It lit the cardboard box up, and like everything just caught fire.
Holy
And then
shit.
they were just pumping out oxygen into a fire.
Because
environment.
normally that is an airtight space. So if there is a fire, it just burns out. But these things were just creating oxygen to feed the fire.
That's awful.
So maybe like, I never thought about how hot those things get. Like they have to have a heat shield on them. So if they ever activate in flight, that they don't burn the plane down or they don't burn you.
That's terrifying.
Yeah. So apparently
Good
those
to
things
know,
get
though.
fucking hot as shit. Do we got that picture, Patrick? As long as we're on the topic of flights, enjoy your sail heads.
She sent us a picture of first class snail heads.
I like how they have the X's for eyes.
What's that
They're
little
clearly
streak
dead.
of purple? Is that like sauce or something?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
like
it's,
a little
it's
flare.
fancy.
That's the presentation.
That's covered in that saran wrap.
She did give me a whiskey and coke.
Oh
which is
yeah,
nice.
it is.
She did give me a whiskey and coke.
Nice.
So
snail
great
faces.
drawing.
She's a great artist.
Yeah.
She's done some really cool stuff for the podcast.
So she's attending RTX, right?
Yeah, I think she's actually also on a panel, the Artists of the RT Community panel.
Nice.
I think. I could be wrong.
Where all the people who are more talented than us can come and talk.
Yeah.
So
exactly.
next week, we're gonna have on Monday. We're gonna replay a taped podcast. So we're gonna actually have our live podcast on Sunday at RTX, and anyone can watch it. It'll be on the Twitch stream, and then that stream will be rebroadcast Monday evening for our regular podcast, since we will still be in recovery mode
So prepare
from
for a
RTX.
podcast that sounds totally different.
Yes, prepare for a podcast recorded in the
audience.
convention center.
Have we organized any furniture for that stage yet?
Oh yeah, I got to
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, we got this stuff.
How much was
No.
this couch?
I don't know.
You bought it.
I paid for it.
You not like it?
No, I like it. It just looks expensive. It's all like,
It does.
It's not as expensive.
We
as
also
you
have a
would
new
think.
rug to go.
I like
with
it
our
because
new
it's
couch.
smaller than the last one. It brings us all in like.
yeah, I can almost touch Barbara's eye.
We had to hurry up and buy a new couch because Burnie threatened to destroy the old couch if we didn't replace it.
I don't like the size of the couch. It like spread us out too
I
far.
thought you were going to take it for your office too.
No, I know,
It-
but I was gonna now that this.
Also,
I'm
this
taking
couch
it
is just as big. We just sit in different
No,
places.
it's
on it.
No.
it's smaller.
significantly smaller.
If we sat all the way,
I'm closer to Gus.
we're brought in also.
I'm way closer to Gus.
I'm
now.
the same. Like, if we sat where the other one was, it's the same.
It doesn't matter. It brings me and Gus closer, which brings me
Oh,
closer
so it's
to
all
you.
about you and Gus.
It brings me closer. It's smaller. It's less room in
It's
the
smaller.
fucking
Do
stage.
you want me to bust out a fucking tape measure? The old couch is over there.
I do, because I don't believe you that you're actually closer.
Look,
Patrick
look
is
at
gonna
that right
make it.
there. Look how close Gus and I are compared to how we normally
What were
are.
you like
I
before?
I can't
He
tell.
literally. Yes.
We were like that, Gavin, but further fucking away from each other. Exactly like that.
You're going to measure? Oh, wait. We're measuring the couch right now.
Are you guys
Stop it.
measuring the same
to the
thing?
edge, yeah. 85.
85
inches on the new couch. Look at that.
I know. I'm
All right,
trying,
we'll
I'm
go
trying to
and
get,
do the
get
other
your
one.
hands.
Accurate.
Gus is gonna now go and measure the second couch, the old couch.
You should sit in Gus's seat for a second there, Gav.
I'm going to.
This is going to be quite a moment.
How you feeling?
Whoa.
Gavin is now
I feel so close to you.
in Gus's
Weird.
chair.
95.
10 inches.
10 inches?
A foot. It's a foot. It's a foot. When you're talking about like butt width, that's pretty good.
10 inches
Practically
isn't
a
a
foot.
foot.
Gavin, don't fucking start with me.
It's a metric foot.
Brilliant.
why,
So,
why is a foot 12 inches? How do we end up with these fucking arbitrary numbers? Like, Who's the asshole
what's
who's like,
interesting-
okay, this is an inch and 12 of these is a foot? Why wasn't someone else like, why 12?
Well, that's the thing. It's all
Because
based on some random
guy's
shit.
foot was probably 12 inches, and so he measured up
That's why people like the metric system.
You know how a lot of things.
Although the metric system's fucking arbitrary too.
Metric system's awesome.
You watch your mouth.
You know how a lot of
I mean,
standards.
it's nice when they're relatively like easy to convert from one to another, but how long a meter is like how long light travels.
Yeah, right.
And
So a lot of measurements are based on a theory of a finite thing, a thing that can't change, like the speed of light or something else. Except,
Is that what the word finite means to you? Can't change. There we go. Ahead.
or like a. That's not what I mean.
Fixed.
There you go, fixed.
It's standardized. Go ahead.
But a kilogram isn't based on anything like that. It's just based on the kilogram.
They're all. Listen, a meter's totally arbitrary. They standardized it with. You ever see what a meter is? It's the distance that light travels in like
Right,
times 10 to the negative whatever of a second.
They've created a theory that can't be changed. So if you're ever in doubt of the meter, you just do that and figure out how.
I think
Gotcha.
they
kilogram-
retroactively made a definition for the kilogram, though.
Gus,
if
you
you're ever
are
in the
correct. There
wild-
was a kilogram, and then they said we need to come up with a standard because of the thing you're saying. And I forget what I'll look up the definition, but they said okay, it needs to be the mass of this particular element.
Yeah, like that many atoms.
Right,
But there was a
exactly.
time where they protected the kilogram because there was one, and then they made a load of copies of them and buried them deep underground. Because if someone broke in and chiseled
Smashed
a bit
the kilogram?
off, they would just change the kilogram.
Seriously?
In theory, that's what the kilogram is. It's that based off that one. So if someone smashed it, they would be changing what a kilogram is.
I think we're with
even though you
Yeah.
could just figure out how big a kilogram is
Right.
because we've got all these.
Yeah.
You
guesses.
just make another one.
The gram was originally defined in 1795 as the mass of 1 cubic centimeter of water at 4 degrees Celsius.
Yeah. It's all based on
Blah, 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 blah.
at 4 degrees Celsius.
Yes.
It's important. When does everything ever get to 4 degrees Celsius?
Yeah, but that could change, though, couldn't it?
It
Water?
absolutely. How could it change? If water changes? Like if you had Evian?
I know what he's, I know what he's thinking. Like
Go ahead.
impurities in the water.
Yeah.
Like
Well,
minerals.
it's pure water.
Like
they
what?
scientists can deal with fucking pure water.
Did they have pure water in 1795 though, when the
Listen,
definition was
how
created?
the fuck did they measure when they came up with how long a meter is? It is the length of the path traveled by light in a vacuum
Yeah.
during a time interval of 1/299,792,458 of a second. Who the fuck's gonna measure that?
And read the definition of a second.
I know, right? Then you gotta look at the measurement of a second.
And
It's
that's like how far light travels on this atom something else.
Nailed
I'll
it.
look it up.
Yeah, and I think, going back to the kilograms because I'm still obsessed with that.
No, that's based on a solar day. It's 1/86,400th of a solar day.
What?
That's 1
No, that's
over
slower.
86,400.
There's an actual definition of a second.
I'm looking at the definition. I'm looking on Wikipedia, so
Keep reading.
you don't tell me what to do. Yeah. Duration of 9,119,631,770 periods of the radiation corresponding to the transition between the two hyperfine levels of the ground state of Caesium-133.
Yeah, a specific type of atom element
It's just so specific.
and how many times it radiates around itself.
How do we get here?
Because I started bitching about a foot and an inch because I was measuring the.
What's it all based on?
the thing.
And it's like, these are the accepted
It's
things.
my fault for bringing up the
And then we
couch.
have to come up with a standard to measure it.
They started worrying about the kilogram because if I recall, the prototype kilogram that you're talking about, they realized it was losing atoms for some reason.
Yeah, well, they had them all and they moved them all around the world, brought them back together, and some of them are off by like 50 microns.
Right. They were like, oh shit, it's changing. So they
Yeah.
had to come up with a more thorough definition of it.
We'd be fucked if we lost
Well, what's the current
atoms.
definition of a kilogram?
Hold on. So Patrick sent me the foot. The foot is a unit of measurement that was
atoms.
determined by the length of King Charlemagne's foot.
Yeah.
And modified in 1305 to be 36 barley corns laid end to end. No measurement for the barley corn is given.
We'll just divide by.
Dude,
Don't ruin the new carpet.
new carpet.
You know what though? I gotta say that if I'm stuck and everything in the world is destroyed and I want to figure out how big a foot is, it's a lot more likely that I can find barley corn than I'm gonna be able to measure how
You're
far
like-
light
you're like-
travels in one
You'd be like,
300 millionth of a second.
even worse, you'd be like, fuck, where did I leave Charlemagne's foot? It's like there's only 2 of those in the world.
I mean, it's one of those things where it's like,
I don't even
yes, the
know-
metric system is great because we can convert very easily and all that stuff, but at the end of the day, the standards that we choose for things are just like, that's a meter. We got to figure out a standardized thing for this thing that we all already accept as being a meter long. I guarantee when the meter first started, it started on something like that, and then they came up with a rationale for why this thing is that long.
Do we have anything on our bodies that is the same for everyone?
I don't actually guarantee that, by the way. What? Do we have anything that's what?
On our bodies that's the same size for everyone.
Eyes. No.
No.
That's on you. On you, your eyes say the same size, right?
Yeah.
You're from birth.
Useful.
Your
Is that true?
eyeballs stay the same, but your eyelids change.
Your eyelids.
Like
Yeah.
the width of a hair. Is that the same for everyone?
It's close enough to, I guess.
No, some people have thicker hair than others.
Nah.
Do you want to hear the proposed? Apparently, there is no new definition for a kilogram. There are proposals, and they haven't decided which one
So
yet.
there's still no kilogram apart from the kilogram.
Right. So
They should name it
the easiest to read one is this one.
Jacob.
The mass equal to that of precisely a long number atoms of gold. 1,000 over 196.9665687 times 6.022 times 10 to the 23rd atoms of gold.
So just get one. All you have to do is measure the weight of one atom. Just measure the one atom. And then multiply.
That's the easiest one. You want to hear the longest one?
I really don't. Okay, go ahead.
My hair is thicker
want
than
to read
yours,
it.
Gavin.
The mass, which would be accelerated at precisely 2 times 10 minus 7 meters per second squared, when subjected to the per meter force between two straight parallel conductors of infinite length of negligible circular cross-section placed 1 meter apart in a vacuum through which flow a constant current of elementary charges per second.
Wow. And yet we still had a
I'm so
fucking
bored.
probe that crashed on Mars because some guy at NASA didn't convert meters to feet. Remember that?
Yeah.
Fucking thing. We launched it from Earth. It went all the way to Mars. Thing fucking slammed into Mars and destroyed itself because some dude didn't convert meters to feet.
I did that in Minecraft, so I've technically done the same thing. So what? Okay, there are no two objects that are the same length, right? Because
Every
of-
object is the same length. I'm just refuting you. Of course there's two objects that are the same length.
where?
What does that mean?
Well, okay, fine.
There's like there are two MacBook. I guarantee there's another MacBook Air that's the exact same length as that in the world.
No,
To what precision?
real precise.
Oh, to real precision. Whoa.
We're talking atomic?
Well, you zoom in more, and they'll be vastly different from each other. Proper, like, well zoomed in. They'll be
Proper,
like this.
well zoomed in, real precision.
But I'm wondering which two objects man-made are the similarest in size.
What if there's two things that are not the same type of object but are the same size? Like,
Right,
what if I had
yeah.
a rock that was this big?
Or like a rock that's this exact same size as your skull.
Yeah.
Or but the top of your skull is probably like a mountain range or close up.
What's that mean?
Like lumpy and not smooth.
Maybe. You know, it depends. I've lived a good life. I got some
If
things.
the universe is infinite and all possibilities exist, is there a rock on a planet somewhere that looks exactly like Burnie's skull? You're like,
Yeah.
"Holy shit."
Absolutely.
That's the power of infinity. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's like imagine astronaut Burnie landing on this alien planet. You're like, that rock looks just like my face.
Not only is there a chance that it's exactly there's a rock that looks exactly like your skull. There's an infinite number of rocks that look exactly like your skull.
Would you?
I just want to find one.
Infinity is a crazy powerful concept.
Yeah,
It's
it's-
kind of bandied about, but it's crazy powerful.
Would you recognize your own skull? Do you think out of a pile
No,
of skulls
I've always been curious.
about your skull?
Yeah, I always wish too that we could like separate it, like have people who take bones and they make a dinosaur, take a human and make a human, like from bones.
They do that all the time. What are you on about?
I mean, just tell us what a human would look like based on their bones. Gavin, shut up.
No, I get what you're
If
saying.
you've never seen a human in real life, if you had to like build a human just based on our bones,
Right.
I don't think dinosaurs look anything
look
like,
at
what they
Like
do.
what
Jurassic
if you
Park.
gave someone a giant box, and in that box was all the bones for a human skeleton, all the bones for a dog skeleton, all the bones for a cat skeleton.
What,
and you
mixed together?
Yeah, all mixed together, and you say make a human, and see like how much shit they get wrong, like trying to fit all
No,
that.
but I see what you're
stuff
saying.
No, I'm
together.
saying you just give somebody a fully formed skeleton, give it to them, someone who's never seen like an alien, and say, what is this animal look like with all of its meat and skin?
Like if you had to do it
like
with
go the other
CG.
way.
Yeah, go the other way. Somebody did that with the. Somebody did that like some kind of forensic pathologist or artist. They took the skull tequila bottle, and they built the human face that the skull represents.
Oh, did it look weird?
It looks
Did it look a bit uncanny valley?
Uncanny Vanny.
well. I don't think it was meant to
Valley.
look like super realistic, but I'll get a photo of it.
Yeah,
What is that? Is that a vodka or is that a tequila?
That's a. It's the Crystal Skull vodka, I believe.
So they had the
Vodka.
jaw as well.
Yeah, they had the skin and everything.
Here, let me read this while I look that up. I want to remind everyone this episode of the podcast is also brought to you by...
I'm going to take Patrick a second to pull this up, but I'm going to send it right now to you, Patrick. Oh,
that was fast.
He found it for me.
Look at you.
Yeah, it's. I'll read you the description while he's pulling it up. I found this on Neatorama.com. Forensic artists can't come across a skull or skull-shaped decanter without wondering what the person's fleshy face looked like when they were among the living. And there's no better testament to your artistic skills than to create a skull sculpture from scratch that actually looks like a human being when clay's skin is added. So they went through and they added skin back to the...
John Skinback.
They added skin back to the skull for this crystal skull vodka.
That looks way creepier.
Yeah, it looks really weird, doesn't it? And it's like there's a multi-stage process to it, like where you can see them building it.
So it's definitely never a real person.
I don't know.
Because
it
that
might
wouldn't.
be.
That guy doesn't look real.
It looks a little... Well, I mean, it is a model, right?
Yeah, but
You could run into somebody like that and think, that dude's is... I want to drink him out of his skull.
That's only fairly precise. That's not real precise.
Not real precise, guys.
Looks like it should be saying, "My precious."
It does, actually. Yeah, it does look a little schmeary.
It looks a little happy.
How many bones are in your head?
All of them?
You're red.
Thanks. I have kept all of my bones in my head.
Like, you're talking about like your skull, your
You
jaw.
got 32 teeth. You can't teeth as bones?
Well, yeah, no. Well, the ear bones.
Yeah, no.
Wait, Gilbert. You got 32 teeth.
They're not
You got a
bones, though, really.
jawbone.
Yeah.
You got plates in your head. I think you got like 5 or 6 of those.
And the jaw isn't the skull.
It is too. Why not? Wouldn't it be?
Well, it's a different bone, isn't it?
Then the skull?
Well, skull's a bone.
Gavin,
could jaw
if
be
it's
a-
one bone is the skull, then the answer to your question is 1. How about
Wait,
that?
What do you mean?
Because you're drawing these
What
fucking
do you
arbitrary.
mean?
You're like, how many bones are in your skull? And I say the jaw. I go, well, it's not a different bone than the skull. So if there's only one skull bone, then your answer to your question is fucking 1.
Well, so the jaw's
You're
not a part of the skull.
You're splitting.
I'm asking you if the skull-
You said it's a different bone.
The jaw's a different bone to the skull.
Are you asking
It-
about the head?
So if
or
you're
just
thinking
the
it's a different
skull?
bone than to the skull, then the skull is its own bone. So the answer to your question is how many bones are in the skull? 1. Because all the other bones are different than the skull bone. All of them. Including the jaw, including the fucking teeth.
So a skull, when you hold a skull, you're holding the head minus the lower teeth and jaw.
So you're specifically eliminating the teeth and the
No,
the lower
the bottom
teeth.
teeth.
No, just the bottom teeth. Don't be stupid, Bernie.
But why are you getting rid of that? Like I understand why you get rid of all the neck bones because you're saying it's the head part. But
What
why
neck
would you
bones
get
are
rid
you
of the
talking about?
jawbone?
Like spine.
Why are you drawing the line?
I think the reason, if I may interject on Gavin's behalf, I think the reason he draws the line there is because the lower jaw is only connected through connective tissue. So if you lose that tissue and just go down to bone, the lower jaw falls away.
Aren't all your teeth the same way then too?
No.
Why?
Teeth are lodged in the bone of the skull and the jaw.
I believe he is correct.
Well, they are in there, but they're like held. They're held in place
they're not
by
bones.
connective tissue. The roots of the teeth hold them in.
Well,
Yeah, you need to define this a little better, Gavin. I'm trying to help you
You
out
tell
here.
me. You tell
I
me.
was just asking, if you have a skull,
What's the answer you're looking for? We'll agree.
if you have a skull,
I have a skull.
you're just holding the top layer of teeth and the rest of the head.
Okay, so you're saying let's get rid of the jaw. You're saying it's
I'm
not.
saying
it
that's
doesn't
not the
count.
skull.
Okay, so you have 16 teeth in the top of your mouth.
Well, you're so obsessed with the teeth.
Because you're asking me, Gavin, you're asking me how many bones are in my skull, and then I'm counting them for you. I'm doing exactly what you're asking
Why
me
are you
to.
so obsessed with the bones?
I'm doing. Why are you so busy counting? I'm doing exactly what you asked me to do. You asked me how. I'm trying to go along with you,
said how many
and you're,
bones in
you're
that.
stopping me
I
every
said how
step
many
of the
bones in
way.
that.
Fighting you like you're stupid for trying to figure it out.
Why
You don't classify teeth as a bone?
you just said all the teeth. I even asked you at the beginning of this. You count the teeth, and you said no, yes, no. So okay, let's go over this one more
Well,
time.
I was thinking,
How many bones are in the skull?
no, the skull's a bone. How many bones in that? How many bones are in the head?
Does your head include your jaw?
Your head has to include your...
You get
Oh
to
my god!
count. No.
So now we're counting the lower jaw.
If you talk about the head, I was asking-
You said the head!
that's what I was trying to find out. Was
You're mental.
whether if you had a skull, would you have the lower teeth? And I guess you wouldn't because.
That's not all this is about.
Is that really what this is all about?
Yeah, I was just trying to figure it out. Oh my god! But I guess the skull is only the top teeth
Oh my god!
and all the rest of the head and that.
Oh my god! Why'd you ask it that way then?
I was
hey,
just-
Gus, how many bones are in your feet? Because I want to know if you're wearing shoes. How many? Why did you ask that? Why didn't you ask?
It was an evolving question. Like the more you talk, the more questions I had.
It was not an evolving question.
No, in my head, I was just like coming up with more questions to it because I was thinking about the bones in your ear. Are they in your head? And yeah,
You mean all the little bones in your inner
like
ear?
the stirrup.
Yeah. So you count that.
Yeah, I
even
was
though
just wondering how many bones are in your head, and then I was like, is the skull 2? Your jaw as well? Is that separate?
Well, now I'm wondering. So if you have a skull, like say a person, and you just
Decapitate it.
set them in a chair,
Right.
and they die, Ugh. And then they rot away, and you come back in like 3 years, and they're just a skeleton sitting there. They're just a skeleton sitting in the chair, and then you take the skull, whether or not the spine comes with it, and the neck and the jawbone, teeth doesn't matter. Are the little bones in the ear? Can you like rattle it and knock those things out? Could you like shake those out?
Would they fall out?
I
don't
didn't
know.
hear a
I don't-
single thing you said after
Like, what's
you made
the
that death
cochlea?
impression.
I think there's 3
That's
in
not
the,
a bone.
There's 3 ear bones, right? And one of them's
What is this? Like cartilage?
I think so. Yeah.
one of them's the smallest bone in the head, in the body.
The
right?
stirrup?
Yeah. And there's 3 bones in your ear?
I think so. I don't know the other ones. I know the stirrup
Anvil, right? The anvil's
Anvil?
one.
and the drum. I used to know this. That's like
The baton.
Just
I think it's
put
like
us-
fourth grade science.
Put this conversation to bed. Google how many bones are in a head.
How many bones are in your head? It's gonna be like people arguing.
Take the head off the top of the spine.
How
This
many?
is going to be evidence in a trial. Your Honor, I submit that Mr. Burns performed a Google search asking how many bones are in the head. That's totally like creepy serial killer.
Do you want
Google
your
search.
skull or head?
Do you head?
Well, how could there be more than one bone
Real
in the
precise, proper zoom. From Twitter.
That's awesome.
Oh.
I'm sorry,
Many
Internet. I'm sorry about
Who
this.
sent that in?
Bones.
I feel bad for just leaking my brain to the internet podcast.
Why not? That's entertaining.
Well, I mean, it's entertaining for me, but
How many? There are 29 bones in the human head.
Nice.
It's just gonna be. I'm on this page, funtrivia.com.
And I take it because there's
Fun
only
trivia is the
29.
best trivia.
There's only 29 that there's no teeth included there.
They consist of 8 cranial bones,
So we have 21 left,
14 facial bones,
7 left,
the hyoid bone,
6.
and 6 auditory ear bones. So I guess one,
Three on each
sets
side.
on each side. There you go. So,
So
they
the
don't.
skull is a bunch of bones.
The skull is 8 cranial bones, all the plates and stuff like that,
Oh, Christ.
and then
like the
14
Earth.
facial bones. I would not assume I have 14 bones in my face.
Well, you got your cheekbones.
Go ahead.
That's all I know.
I was about to say you just ran out of bones for me.
Cheekbone?
You got cheekbones
Your
and that's
forehead
it.
bone. No, that's part of your.
What's the little
What
like?
about the orbital?
What's
Is
the
that-
little bone that like when the nose is gone? See, what would a human if you never saw a human before, you saw a human skull? There's no way you would build ears and a nose on it. No way. Like we see dinosaurs, we don't put a big honking schnoz. We just go, okay, just take the bones, a little bit of meat, wrap it in skin, done. There's no like,
Well, you would
wonk,
no,
you know,
look
ears.
at the hole and you'd be like, "What's this hole for?" And then you'd probably think of a pipe leading to the hole.
Sure.
And then you wouldn't just have a opening gash
What's
in the
this,
front of your
though?
face.
What's all this? Like this cone on the outside of my face. Like cat
And why would
ears.
it need to be
What
like
if
this
dinosaurs had big fucking human
They'd
ears
be
like
so
this
cute.
on the side thing or antenna or
Big
something
human
like
ears,
that?
they'd be so cute.
If they had ears, dinosaurs had like big mouse ears.
I mean,
Oh.
they don't even know if they had feathers or not. I mean, that's a big difference. And yet we draw these like scaly
Well, I mean-
reptiles that are green. They're all green.
You wouldn't tell that we had hair because there's no follicles on the bone.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It'd be hard to, if you never saw. We just base what we call dinosaurs. Like if we travel back in time, that would be the biggest shock of all.
Yeah.
Was like
What
Dinosaurs are all
actually
covered in
look like.
slime.
just like
Who knew?
Yeah, they're just or they levitate.
They all have human ears.
That's why they have no arms. They don't care. They just like
Or
fly
dinosaurs
everywhere.
are telekinetic. Wow, didn't see that one coming.
There's a new movie with Scarlett Johansson in it,
Lucy?
Lucy, where she can use 100% of her human brain.
We don't need any
That's
more
an
movies
urban
like
legend,
that.
right?
We don't need any more movies like that. That's urban legend that you don't use 100% of your brain.
Right.
Total urban legend. But this whole movie's based on it. But apparently that involves also she can make people's guns magnetically fly out of their hands, and then she can like throw them through walls and stuff
Like
too.
tele-
It's like she can
Telekinesis.
control people and stuff like that as
It's
well.
like she can just do everything, basically. She can see
Almost
the
She's
internet.
there.
she's a Jedi.
Essentially. I don't believe I
Has
used.
there ever been a human born with a different bone? Like a bone that's made out of different material? Or has every human bone been bone?
There's people who are. There's people who are bone. There's people who are born with spiky bones, and it seems
Oh,
like the
what?
most painful thing.
Oh,
ever.
yeah,
if they sit down, it comes out.
I've seen pictures of those bones.
Oh, don't put one up because I'll vom.
It's just like like you know like a normal arm bone, like your regular old arm bone that you
Yeah.
see. It's like that, but it's like covered in like
It's like calcium growth or
yeah, just
deposits
like
or something.
Coral. It looks like coral. It looks like coral, and it seems like it would be the most painful
Would
thing
that just
ever.
like pop out of your skin? Like, what would that look like?
No, I think it's like in your flesh. Like it doesn't pop out of your skin.
Yeah.
It just like
'Cause I felt
pokes
like
you on the inside.
Some of my bones are kind of
Like a dick.
like bumpy in
That
certain
happens.
areas.
But
Is
you
that
get
normal?
shit all over them trying to hold them in place too. Or I guess the bones are holding you in place. More accurate. There's a character in the later books of Game of Thrones. I'm not gonna spoil anything here. Character that has gout. I fucking hate reading about that character
Is it
every
gross?
time. No, it's just like it just seems like the most painful thing
What's
ever.
gout?
Gout is like
No,
crystal.
no pictures of that either.
It's a buildup of uric acid, I believe.
Is it
in your
uric
body.
acid? Yeah. And it's usually called a rich man's disease because usually like rich foods cause it. Like asparagus is something that can like make your gout inflamed.
I thought also like a lot of meat, like a high protein diet.
so you
but
have
I could
a
be wrong
gout.
about that.
It's like people
can
have it
have
to
an
this day.
inflamed gout.
I know somebody who deals with gout on a regular basis, but it's like when you eat rich foods, it like makes you have a flare up, and it's like crystals in your joints. It's supposed to be really
When they get
fucking
like
painful.
really self-conscious about it, do you think they're experiencing some form of self-gout?
It's not as funny when you have to set it up that long.
No, I liked it. It was
That was
good.
like 5 seconds of get on with it.
Here it comes. Here it comes.
It was like,
Barbara,
where's
I'm on board with you.
You
Which
you
one's it
figured
gonna
out the
be?
pun, and then you're like, do you think that in some circumstances, when if these things happened in this order, do you think?
Which is, by the way, exactly how your discussion of the skull went.
Yeah.
How many? I'm wondering, do people count teeth as part of the skull? How many bones are in your head? Like the most roundabout way to get there. Weirdest way to have a conversation.
I didn't know this until earlier. I think I saw Greg Miller tweeting it. But did you know that the person who voices Lee from season 1 of The Walking Dead is also the Hulu guy?
Hey, Clementine. Lee.
Yeah,
From
season 1 of
season
Walking
1.
Dead. I
Yeah.
had no idea.
No, I had no idea.
I just finished season 3, episode 3 of season 2. It
Episode 3. Okay, that's the most recent one, right?
was good.
Yeah. I think Telltale today teased that episode 5 of The Wolf Among Us is coming out soon. So probably next week or two, I would assume.
I would
I
never
didn't
make that
realize that Kumail was in
connection, Gus, because as a white male, I have learned not to make those connections. Honestly, if I went up to someone and go, hey, I wonder if the guy from Walking Dead is the same dude who does the Hulu stuff. You go, what's wrong? You're racist, Burnie. That would immediately, I would be concerned that I would be called out as a racist if I tried to make that connection. Like I would have to research it in my room at night with
all your
incognito windows and be like, oh, okay, it is. Okay, then I can talk about it. Then I'm cleared to talk about it.
With all your other racist searches and your searches for how many bones are in the skull. Best way to dissolve flesh.
Gross.
I hope I never get gout ever because it seems like the worst thing ever.
I had a neighbor when I was a little kid.
Shut the
I had-
fuck up, Barbara. God damn it.
I had a neighbor with gout, and it seemed like it was the most painful thing in the world. Like you said, like he had just. It seemed like every step he took was pain. Just like it
No.
was.
Wouldn't you just do yourself in at that point?
I don't know.
Is suicide legal in the UK?
No.
No, it's not.
No.
Assisted suicide or anything like that.
No.
Where is that legal anywhere?
I don't think so.
Switzerland?
Switzerland?
I don't know.
So like people just.
Is that just a wild guess?
That was a guess.
Oh.
Oh, okay.
What is like the disease you're most afraid of getting? Is it gout?
No, I'm sure there's way worse.
All of them are
diseases.
terrible.
There's something
Happiness?
I'm so afraid of getting or something happening to me is cluster headaches.
Oh yeah, I
That's
I
gross.
never have headaches.
This
Ever.
like if you there's video online of people experiencing cluster headaches and it looks just like I know are they called cluster? It's like suicide headaches.
I don't know what that is. Don't put that in my head. Don't put that in my head.
Where
I don't
it's
wanna
just-
know about it.
Headaches where like it's just the worst head pain. And you have to punch
Yeah,
yourself in the head.
It's
and
like
stuff.
people have come close to killing themselves because of it. Like it's that much pain.
Gavin, people are asking why you're bleeding.
What are you bleeding?
I'm not. There's blood on me, but I'm not bleeding.
It's fake.
There's some there. There's a. Some
He's
there.
not bleeding. He's fine.
Like all of a sudden, we got a
Things were
giant,
happening.
like a flood of tweets about it.
No, it's just some old blood. Just dried blood.
No, as you
Don't
do.
worry about it. It's on my shoe as well.
It happens to everyone.
See that?
It's just a Monday, you know.
Yeah. It's a Monday at Rooster Teeth. Someone's gonna have blood on them.
Somebody sent me a photo of dinosaurs with fucking huge ears.
Are you going to be in the office at all the rest of the week?
Me?
Yeah.
I'm here tomorrow morning to shoot something real fast, but no, I think starting tomorrow afternoon. It's convention center all the way.
Convention center time.
Boop boop.
Yeah.
You're out tomorrow.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I'm probably not gonna see you for a week.
Probably not.
Yeah,
Oh, you see me this weekend.
Yeah, you guys should be busy. You're gonna have a good RTX though.
Yes.
Great.
Really excited about it.
I'm excited for you guys.
You'll be there too.
What?
You'll be there too. I heard.
Yeah, but I mean, I'll be there as I'm like a guest. You guys are working your ass off.
Yeah, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of walking. I'm not looking for. We should get pedometers.
Yes.
Let's get pedometers.
Every
Let's
year we
see-
say that.
Why don't
Let's
you
actually do it.
get a
You did it
scooter?
one year. He got the
But
DS
the DS doesn't
pedometer.
count. It's
Where
not.
do you get
It's shit.
pedometers?
It's a piece of shit.
The
Best Buy.
internet.
Like
Yeah,
a
Best Buy
sport?
has it like Fitbit.
Best Buy.
That's expensive.
You could go to Academy. It's a sporting goods store. You can get like a
Business expense.
no. That's the part of RTX that I hate is afterwards all the fucking expense that came in. It's like, oh, we had this one booth where we didn't have enough stuff in it, so we bought 4 fucking computers. Oh, it's like that just makes sense. Let's just run out and buy 4 computers in a day. No big deal.
You should see the amount of consoles we have stored up by the loading dock.
Gavin, you would not believe how many problems for RTX when we're in meetings, how many are solved. Well, just throw a computer at it. They'll just buy a computer. It's like that.
Throw money at it.
Yeah, just like computer.
People, it's probably every company. People at this company love spending money that isn't really their money.
People like spending
get,
money.
They get excited about it.
Nobody spends more money per capita than Gus Sorola.
Not. I think Adam may outdo me now.
Adam might for tech expenditures and stuff.
Yeah, I
like
heard
that.
Adam quote something the other day. He was like, "You're gonna hate me, but I need to spend this much money." I was like, oh.
It was this week alone
Lord.
too that he was just like,
Yeah. I think Adam may have taken the crown ever since we brought him on to manage all that stuff.
Well, it's like
Like,
stuff for us.
if we ever got in a jam and we had to scale down the company, had to evaluate people like how much more revenue they bring in, that'd be like a really tough day. If I ever wanted to like cut expenditure, I got 3 people that it's like I got them on speed dial of just like, come on in the office, guys.
Who's
Hey.
the most profitable
Is
employee?
Brandon one of them?
What's that?
Is Brandon one of the ones you'd call in?
No,
Really?
I'd say who it is.
Who is it?
Now this is just expenditure of spending the most amount of money.
Huh?
Brandon's a close 4th. It'd be Gus, Adam, and Alan.
Oh,
That-
Alan.
Yeah, those 3 people.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, I see that.
but
But make
but-
sure you come to my panel where I'm gonna make it rain.
they
At
also
RTX.
but that's just expenditure.
But
They
Alan
also
is-
generate. Obviously,
Alan is
we couldn't
still-
function without any of those people. I'm not saying that.
He's still in positive. Like if you took
That's exactly
the money
right.
that he makes and deduct the money he spends, he's still probably plus.
Probably.
Maybe.
Yeah, there's no question, Alan. There's no question about that. Alan's business development. Absolutely, there's no question about that.
Who's the worst?
Oh shit.
Who's the most
I don't wanna
profitable
I don't wanna
employee?
don't make me think about these issues. I'm not CEO anymore. I have to think about that stuff. Who's the most profitable employee?
Like one who doesn't spend anything but just makes loads of money.
Nobody spend. A lot of people don't have credit cards and can't spend anything.
You can expense things.
Probably the most like negative position is like the office manager who buys like everybody's snacks and all
But
that
doesn't
stuff.
produce any
But that's a
Yeah.
It's
It's
hourly
really an
wage.
unfair question, really, isn't it?
It is an unfair question because some people have expenditures as part of their jobs.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
it's still-
my only expenses are games. Like I have to buy a game to play. Mm-hmm. And that's the cost for the company.
Well, other people have different, people's salary weighs into it too. So
I also pay all of our
one day we're gonna
server bills
point
for
where we
the
pay people's
website.
salaries. That'll be awesome.
Jesus.
What about salaries?
One day we'll get to a point where we can pay people's salaries. It'll be great. No, but it's like RTX is always like after RTX is like it is a major endeavor, and it's like this kind of like roaming thing. You never know how successful the event's going to be, but it's basically for us is just an awesome fan event. Marketing expense essentially. Rooster Teeth is like the biggest guest at RTX.
I am so
essentially.
paranoid for this year's RTX because everything has been going so well. The planning has been going so smoothly. So I'm paranoid
Why'd you
that
do
I'm
this?
missing something.
Everything's going great.
I'm motioning.
Everything's going down.
I'm just paranoid that I'm missing something.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what are we forgetting to do or forgetting to plan?
Yeah, that's always. And then you're hit with it like, hey, did you do that thing? Like, oh right.
Fuck.
No.
We need a convention center. Oh shit. We don't
Yeah.
have a convention center. Hey, I'm a little bummed by something. That they moved the fireworks out to
So
the
stupid.
Speedway of the Americas.
Why
Circuit
would
of the
they-
Americas.
yeah,
Circuit of the
that's-
Americas. Is that what it is?
What, from downtown?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess
Really?
they're doing.
Boo was right.
It's like
yeah,
in the middle of
construction.
nowhere.
Let's do our
So
own.
they moved it out to the middle of nowhere.
They
Like
moved
no
it-
one's gonna go out there.
Let's call it one of the two. They moved it out to the middle of nowhere, which is basically a dry field out southeast of
shit.
Austin.
So there's going to be a fire.
Yeah, there's no. They just. Why don't they just light the ground on fire and just call it a day and not fire off the fireworks? And then we can have thousands of people out there helping stomp out the wildfire that's going to start from this. It's the dumbest thing ever.
Yep.
I mean,
I
the
realize-
firework lands in the city. There's people around going, "Eh, fucking thing landed right there."
Fire doesn't work in this situation.
What?
I said fire doesn't work in this situation.
What?
Fireworks, fire.
Oh, it's a pun.
It's an attempt at a pun.
Your
I've
quote is
noticed-
fucking high today.
The stress level that I experience and the pun quality, when the stress goes up, the pun quality goes
Are
down.
you stressed all year round?
Also, they're gonna charge people parking out there at the Circuit of the Americas.
That's going to work out well.
It's like a place you cannot get to any way but other than driving.
Just sit in your car and watch the fireworks.
And then fucking pay for parking out at this taxpayer subsidized facility that we're paying for.
I saw one time a guy for 4th of July. Everybody parked down by the river. They parked by this one restaurant, and a dude like tow truck showed up and started towing away all the cars. And we were the last car in the parking lot that he was trying to tow away, but he couldn't get out because we had like a wall next to us. And so I was like, whoa. I came running up, and I saw that he cleared out the entire parking lot. And it was after the fireworks were over.
What, one by one?
Like apparently, or him and some buddies, but he got caught in the parking lot. And he was like, I just want to drop, because he don't worry about it. I'll just drop your car. He goes, I just need to get out of here. And like he dropped our car down, and he's going to leave, and it's like people like blocked the parking lot. And we're like, where the fuck are our cars? And I think that guy had a bad fucking day from that point on. Because, I mean, it's all these families, they just got done. They're probably half of them are drunk. Just a nightmare.
Well,
it's It's like 11 at night by the time the fireworks end.
they
There's a
shouldn't
bunch
be
of little
driving.
kids screaming at the top of their lungs.
They shouldn't have parked there.
Listen to you, Gus.
I've been towed a couple of times. I think I've been towed twice, and it's my fault. If I park somewhere where there's a no parking sign.
Oh, speaking of which, sorry, I didn't want to.
No, I was just like, it's my fault. I'll take responsibility for it. I'm not going to fucking block a tow truck driver and give him shit about it.
Oh, good. I didn't want to interrupt your very responsible story about personal responsibility and.
Please
parking.
tell us your responsible story.
Have you guys tried the app Waze? Have you tried that
It's
yet?
some total bullshit. So
Waze?
stupid.
How do you spell it?
WAZE. It's fucking awesome.
What
It's
is it?
so
How does it
retarded.
work?
Okay,
What is
it's like crowdsourced traffic stuff. So you just run it while you're driving somewhere, and then like if you see a cop, like a speed trap, you just hit a button and hit push cop, and that's it.
It is
What are you
illegal to
doing while
use.
you're
It is
driving?
illegal to use an app while driving in the city of Austin.
Well, you can also just wave your hand over it and talk to it. That also works too.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think it's true.
So, but anyway, you're just driving. Even if you don't use it on like a push basis, you just pull the information from it. You'll be driving along, and like all of it'll say, "Police officer reported a half mile ahead." And then you like look down at your little app, and it's got the little cop
No way,
face there.
that's legal.
Then you pull over the next overpass. There's a fucking cop right there.
No way.
It's fucking awesome.
That doesn't. How's that legal?
It's
It's
awesome.
just gonna make
it's more
everyone-
than that. It's traffic lights and everything else.
That's
I-
just
I
going to make
believe
everyone
that-
slow down at that point.
I believe that Google bought them at some point, like within the last year or two, and now that data is incorporated into Google Maps traffic.
Is that the red lines?
Still
that show
ghost.
up?
It's like a little ghost on wheels, and it looks so happy.
All the little people in the like, you can see all the other users and cars around you too, and they're all little happy ghosts going down the road.
That's just as dumb as a speed camera sign in front of a speed camera.
What?
It would just make everyone slow down for that bit and then speed up again afterwards.
Well, guess what, Gavin? You don't fucking drive, so you don't get to weigh in on this conversation.
Touche.
It's fucking awesome.
It's stupid.
It's fucking awesome.
It's stupid.
How long is your commute to work now, by the way?
5-6 minutes.
It's great, isn't it? I thought I was going equally as far from my house from the old studio to this studio. Not even close. I can get here in 12 minutes.
Nice.
It's fucking awesome. If I hit all the lights.
Yeah.
And if somebody makes me miss a light, I'm like, you motherfucker.
It's the worst thing in the world.
Why don't you move?
I'm eventually going to move.
Yeah.
It's such a pain in the ass.
Do it this week.
She re-upped her lease like a month before we moved out.
Yeah, and I renewed it for a year because I don't want to pay month to month.
God, dark.
I don't care though. It takes me 15 minutes to get here in the morning.
Oh yeah?
Do you leave early?
If there's no, I leave
You're
after
gonna say
rush
there's no
hour.
traffic, but you're coming into Austin with traffic.
I leave after rush hour.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah.
That's smart. That's one of the ways we have flexibility at Rooster Teeth is that you can like get here at 9:30 or 10 o'clock. It doesn't matter.
So what do you do in the morning from like 8 till 10?
I wake up and I shower and I do all this, which takes.
What
a
do you
while.
do?
I just go to work when I'm awake.
I'll like
I mean,
watch.
I don't like leave. I don't leave at 10.
Why do you
Like you don't
what-
putz around your house.
Why do you assume
Oh, I
she's
do.
waking up at 8?
I putz around my house
Do you monk off?
sometimes, but like I'll watch Netflix. I'll make breakfast
Do you have breakfast every day?
most days. It's the most
Her
important.
life is fascinating to me.
Why?
I don't know. Because you live alone and it's like a girl living
You
alone.
lived alone forever.
Yeah,
Or
but
it's
I
not.
think he's
Sort
fascinated
of.
by a girl living.
Did you have a
alone.
kitchen in your place?
Yeah.
Okay. Wait. So what time do you wake up in the morning?
8:30.
What time do you? Does this mean half till 8 or half past?
8:30.
8:30. And so you're at work by what time?
Sometimes 9:30, 9.
Yeah.
So what do you do for an hour?
I'm
Monk off. Do you monk off in the mornings?
no.
Yeah. Not in the mornings. But he's not an asshole.
He also doesn't have to.
I shower and then
What time do you guys go to bed at night? Every night. What time do you go to bed?
Normally between like midnight and 1.
same.
Midnight.
Yeah. Does
What about you?
anybody really get like 8 hours of sleep a night? Anybody really do that?
I do. I wake up at 8, so if I go to bed at midnight, I get 8.
You get 8 hours sleep?
I wake up at 8:30.
6 or 7 for me. That's it. I go to bed like midnight, 1 o'clock, and I get up 7:30.
You get up too early.
I get up a little too early. But we can
That's
do.
ridiculous.
What
I
do you
remember-
do in the morning?
I go to the gym, and then I come back and get Ashley, and then we
I
go to
used
work
to go to the gym with you in the morning at like 7 a.m.
for like a day and a half.
Yeah, that's because I'm not a morning person.
No. You know who's not a morning person?
Ashley.
Every girl.
Most girls are not.
She is not a morning
people, I don't
person.
think.
She's mean in the morning. Her and that cat.
And also, do you get it where
they gang up on me?
they'll like say afterwards, that was me trying to not be mean.
Yeah, what does
And
that
it's
mean?
just still really mean. It's
You
like,
just
oh,
don't do it.
thanks for trying. What would that have been like if you weren't trying to be mean?
Yeah,
I would hate to have seen that.
Yeah.
just be at your funeral, basically. Yeah, Ashley's not a morning person. I'm saying quietly because she's over there, but she's not a morning person.
I'm sure she could still hear
I
you.
don't see her.
So what kind of
Where is she?
I don't know. She might be behind you.
what do you do? What do you do in the
with a
morning?
knife.
What?
Do you piss her off in the morning?
I don't mean
Like
to.
inadvertently piss
It
her off?
happens sometimes, though.
Are you like one of those bright chipper assholes in the morning?
I am. She fucking.
I fucking hate
hates
that.
it. She
Fucking
See, that's what I'm like. I leap out of bed.
I know.
Eyes are open. It's like, new day. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Let's
and
go.
Then, and then I lose steam like an hour later.
I
but-
probably drag ass the first hour I'm awake.
Really?
Yeah, like I'm just so groggy and out of it.
I've been
Yeah,
using my fucking snooze so much lately.
Snooze is
And
a dangerous
I
game.
think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Like, I'm just like, why don't I just wake up? I'm not getting quality sleep these
Right.
10
It's a
minutes.
dumb
That's the
function.
best sleep ever. What are you talking about?
No,
You're
it's
just aware of
it's-
it.
But it's not quality.
It's over like in a second. You like close your eyes like, oh fuck.
But to me, the best part about sleeping is the little before period where you're just about to fall asleep.
Yeah, but
and
that's
it's like,
But like,
So
if
good.
you get like another hour, like if you wake up an hour early, you're like, oh my God, I have another hour to sleep. This is the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
When it's 10 minutes, you don't feel anything after.
I
You
hate the
feel just as
calculations that you
tired.
do. I don't do any more math than when I'm about to go to sleep. It's like, well, if I go to sleep now, maybe 7. I got 4.
Is-
yeah. I'm constantly doing hour math in my head
Is-
when I'm gonna
that's
sleep.
something-
Is the snooze button a standard measurement? Is
9.
it 8 minutes on all?
No, it's 9.
It's 9.
9 minutes.
9 minutes?
On my iPhone.
It's basically just add.
My alarm clock is 8.
Yours is not standard then. Yours is
Yeah.
fucked up. I've never heard of an 8 minute
Your
snooze.
snooze isn't based on the official snooze.
It's the amount of a nap King Charlemagne used to take.
No, everyone knows a snooze is a measurement of time of 9 minutes.
It's the amount of.
No,
it's the amount of
And it's
distance.
international. It's snooze. All European snooze is 9 minutes too.
My,
It's 9 minutes.
My
They-
alarm
they
clock
just
was
add-
10 minutes.
They just add to the end of the thing. I never heard of that.
Maybe it's an iPhone snooze.
I think it's just an iPhone.
You know what? You talk about standards. This is something that's become standardized in my lifetime. You go back 10 years, 15 years, nobody had the same time. We all have the same time now. Everybody has the same time on their phone. It's all standardized. That's a relatively new thing. Like some people's watches could be off by 10 or 15 minutes from each other. And you'd see Gus, you remember like what was the standard for seeing time out and about? Where would you see a clock that was reliable?
Side of the road.
But where specifically?
Bank?
Banks.
Yeah.
Banks would show you the time.
Did you ever just dial 123?
What was it?
That's
It's
the
not-
third
it's-
stroke. The time sponsored by Accurist.
Yeah.
Will be.
What is this?
I don't know. It's
There's-
you dial the clock. It's a talking clock.
There was a service where you would call on the phone and it would tell you what time it was. That's how unstandardized time was. That it was you would pay, I think, 50 cents to find out what time it was.
Wow.
And it would say at the third stroke, and then it would go boop, 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 and on the third beep, that would be the time.
Then you knew it was 5:56 p.m.
Dang.
That's it.
Or
Yeah.
on the TV at midnight on New Year's.
Yeah.
That's where the time was as well.
Also, information. When was the last time anybody, like, how many call centers are left? Did we talk about this already? How many call centers are left where they give you like 411 information, like directory assistance? Like you call them and go, yeah, I need the number for the Academy Sports Goods. 'cause
Oh,
I wanna get
yeah.
the number."
Everybody has Google
Like, is
now.
that one call center left that does that anywhere
What,
in the U.S.?
Finding out numbers, like 118, 118.
You've never heard of calling information for a number?
Well, there's different services in England where you can call for a number.
There you
They
go.
They all start with 118, and then there's different companies like 118 500.
Yeah,
or
you never
118,
have you heard the
118.
American expression? What's the 411?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean
the info.
that's the dial for information.
That's-
And information is directory assistance.
I never got that until
And
now. I also didn't
311
care
is
enough to
like-
figure out though.
There you go. That's what.
What's-
Well, it's colloquial. So
What's 311?
there is no 311.
No, that's
the confusion.
general city information.
Isn't that like non-emergency?
Non-emergency.
I thought it's 611.
No, I think that's Like if you call 311 in Austin, you get connected to the city of Austin. You can report like non-emergency stuff.
What if it just got progressively less important?
If you-
911's an emergency. 611 is like, it's pretty bad. 311 is just like, I'm not happy with my life.
Yeah.
211.
I don't feel well today.
What do you want to talk about?
If you call 311, you hear
therapy.
the song Amber. It's great.
Apparently, I found out the answer to why supposedly why a snooze is 9 minutes.
How? Because they just add the digit. It's like it's an
Apparently-
analog.
Is that
thing.
enough time before you fall back
I'm gonna
into
guess.
deep sleep?
I'm gonna guess.
Okay.
It's like an analog thing where they would set the gear back so far for the alarm, and it was just like there's
Like
big
9 is
gears
the
and little
highest number.
gears, and then the big gear is the one digit basically.
Close, essentially.
Okay.
Like they wanted snooze to be, it was an analog thing. They wanted snooze to be 10 minutes max, but the mechanism was never precise. So it always ended up being 9 minutes and something. And then when they switched to digital, which was more precise, they could just make it 9 minutes flat.
Yeah, but time is 12.
Yeah, but it's just like a legacy thing.
It's 12. Hold on a second.
Gavin's brain, go.
Go.
I know what it
So
is.
wait, I'm beating you 2-0 at this point. Gavin's brain.
No, I
time
had
is.
one last week.
We were 1-1.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
got
we were
one
1-1.
each.
Oh, 1-1. Okay, so go ahead. You're saying Gavin just said time is 12.
So time is 12 means that
Time
there
is
are 12 hours. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12. And also 60 minutes in an hour, which is divisible by 12. You break it down into 5 sections of 12.
Gavin.
Well, yeah, like, why would... yeah, I mean, obviously, yeah. That's exactly what I meant.
Is it?
Good.
So
now
why-
you're-
why would it
I'm
be- why would
losing
it be
this game
10 then?
2-1
Is what I
now.
wanted to know.
It's like the 10 was the arbitrary part. They just wanted it to be 10 minutes max, but they
Right.
couldn't
12.
make it.
Yeah, but do you ever tell someone
Precise.
like, I'll meet you there at 5:12?
What?
If time is 12,
If
Yeah.
time is 12,
Why
you
don't
don't,
you say,
you
"I'm
don't
gonna
say
meet you
like,
there at
I'll meet you
5
there in 12 minutes.
5.1.
I'll see you there
5.2.
at 10:12.
oop.
You don't say that.
I guess not. I was just thinking of how many numbers are on the face.
What are you on about?
What are you going about?
All right, we got to wrap up on that wonderful note.
We have complained about it on the podcast before a little bit.
Oh, we're already on
I
the
saw
wide.
World War Z on Netflix, the unrated version. Should totally watch it unrated.
Is it better?
You forget it was a zombie movie that was PG-13. It's way better unrated.
Oh. So unrated, they mean like re-rated but better.
Re-rated but better. Exactly.
I had a pretty good time
Rated
seeing
higher.
that because Brad Pitt showed up. That was pretty cool.
Oh, other thing? Like
Yeah.
he like the I listen. I had a feeling that was coming because the screening that we went to was delayed for an hour and a half
Was
for some
not attracted at all to him
unknown reason.
at
You weren't
that moment.
at that moment.
I was just like, eh.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was, I thought
Brad
it
Pitt
was
walking
dreamy.
in. Barbara's like,
Put the movie on.
Like,
nice hair.
All right, that's it. So, like I said, we're gonna have our live stream on Sunday at RTX, available to everyone, and that will be rebroadcast next Monday at our normal time. Come back Wednesday for the patch, and check out all of the RTX stuff at rtxevent.com.
This is the last week of the Indiegogo campaign too. We appreciate everyone's support, and if you could share it with your friends and let them know, especially mutual Rooster Teeth fans, I would appreciate it. And also, I want to say one more thing before we go.
Yeah.
A very good friend of ours, Ryan Wyatt, Fwiz on Twitter, is having surgery today.
Oh.
And so we wish Ryan the speediest of recoveries.
Love you, Ryan.
Love you, Fwizzy.
And love you guys.
This episode of the Rooster Teeth Podcast is brought to you by
Dysfunctional characters just talking over the top of each other.
I love that show. I need to have someone shove it in my face. Otherwise, I just don't think I'll ever get around to it.
Welcome to the Rooster Teeth Podcast.
Podcast Day.
Hi.